Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Out's here Saturday morning, and let's start right here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, RJ Barrett. Happy birthday to you and many more. Happy 25th birthday, Rowan Barrett Jr., the pride and joy of Mississauga, his father, Rowan Barrett Sr., and his mother, and just of Canada in general, man. You know, RJ Barrett is just a solid dude. RJ Barrett is number 9 for the Toronto Raptors from Mississauga. Grew up in Mississauga and knows what it's like to be Canadian and play for Team Canada and play for the Toronto Raptors. In some ways, he's a special case because in some ways, much like Kelly Olynyk at the time, he was one of the few guys that played for both the Raptors and Team Canada at the same time. And that's special. I'm going to say that right now. 9 reasons why I love and respect RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is one of us, just like Trevor J saying right here. Love him, people. He is one of us, Raptors family. That's right. He's one of us. And in some ways, when you have somebody who has the background like you, comes from your city, understands what the team means to the city, understands what the championship in 2019 meant to the city, understands what winning in Scotiabank Arena for the Raptors means to the city because he is part of the city, because he's like us. And that's why people got to remember this. When people start talking about trading RJ Barrett, there's a lot more to it than just, hey, he's another player. And y'all need to respect that he is one of us. And I'm sick of this. In some ways, he has played with a passion and a zest in Scotiabank Arena for Toronto, different than he ever has his whole entire career. In some ways, his numbers get jacked up when he's playing in the country of Canada. And I don't understand how people can't value this a little bit more. It's not like this man is expendable. It's not like this man is somebody, is a Joe Schmo in this league right now. This man may be one of the most promising future Canadian stars in this league right now. He is. He is, and he will be an all-star. In the broadcast last night, they're talking about on the finals, RJ Barrett is one of the very, very good Canadian stars for Team Canada and what's coming up. I'm just saying. So, number one reason, he's one of us. And I wish people would start respecting that more. I think that half the time when I see people putting out Raptors content, putting out trade ideas, talking on TV, they are people that don't get this. And partly because they may not live in Toronto. They might not live in Mississauga or Brampton or Scarborough or Hamilton or anywhere even around this area. They may be living on the West Coast. They may be living on the East Coast. They may be living in Manitoba. They may be living in the States. They may be former RJ fans that are Knicks fans, and they just want to cause subterfuge. Look, I just caused subterfuge for the Knicks, daring them to fire the coach, and they did, and now they're in it for it. Can't you see how Knicks Nation may be gaslighting after RJ and saying, no, the Raptors need to trade him. The Raptors need to trade him. That may be the worst part of the OG trade to them, was that RJ got to come home and they can see the chemistry and the synergy and the beauty of RJ Barrett playing for the Toronto Raptors. Haters will hate, and haters will not want that. American media won't want that. Haters of the Raptors won't want that. Canadian media don't want that necessarily either, because they want to support Hockey Canada, and they know a young man like RJ Barrett is a good role model for young people here in Canada to look up to and go in the direction of the sport of basketball. So there's a lot of haters out there. Don't be a part of it. So number one, understand he is one of us and stand with him and protect him. Seriously, Masai and Bobby are not going to be trying to trade RJ frivolously. If something happens with him, I'm going to trust them that they do it right. But the fact that so many of you people in Raptors Nation are so easy to cast him out and trade him and do whatever, shame on you on his 25th birthday today. I'll continue to say this over and over again. You embarrass me, Raptors Nation, the way you put RJ Barrett so easily in trades going out of here. Just stop doing it. The added bonus of having him on our team is supreme. And I wish y'all would see it and understand. This is the thing. We don't have to question what RJ's out there for. He is out there for the right reasons. I don't doubt who he is. As much as I trust Masai, I trust RJ when he takes the court wearing the red and black of the Toronto Raptors, because I know he's going all out when he gets out there, and he is doing it the right way. The number two reason why I love RJ is because he's relentless, unstoppable, and he bulls his way to the basket. This is something they don't like either. This is a man of power. This is a man that has a stature and an ability to not be stopped. We have recently said that RJ Barrett is similar to LeBron James in this way, where he can be so strong going down the lane, barreling through. He will make the layup even with the contact and the hits. I love that. That's part of the reason why they don't want him on our team, because they see how powerful a weapon he is, and they don't like it. A Canadian guy on a Canadian team doing powerful things, some people don't like that. So I'm just going to say this right now. RJ, I love your work ethic. I love your tenacity. I love your resilience. I love the way you attack the basket with your left hand. And, hey, go to your right some more too, my guy. And I'm saying this right now. So that's number 2 on my list, the unstoppable force that RJ Barrett is at the Mabel Bamba. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Number 3 on why I love RJ is because he's a great leader for our Team Canada. In some ways, well, his father is partly in charge for that program. So there's an extra special pressure and responsibility for Rowan Barrett Jr. when he suits up in the red and white. When he gets out there for Canada, well, he needs to show up. And maybe Jamal Murray will not show up, and Jeff T can make jokes about it later. But RJ Barrett undoubtedly shows up every single time. So I love you for representing your country, RJ, and proudly doing so as a bilingual citizen of the great country of Canada, and that your double duty for Team Canada and the Raptors is duly noted and very much appreciated. Number 4, I love RJ because he's a great teammate. And in some ways, he doesn't need the spotlight. There's no ego. There's no this or that about him, this and this with RJ, with Scotty or Brandon or Emmanuel or Jakob or Jacoby or anybody on this team. In some ways, he is ready to fly under the radar after such scrutiny down in New York playing for the Knicks, that in some ways it's a nice breath of fresh air. He can feel confident playing for his home team, knowing he's loved. And he doesn't necessarily have to be on blast so much. But I'm going to say this, advertisers in Canada, you need to get up off your ass and start promoting RJ Barrett and commercials up here more and more, because this is gold for you guys. This is a Canadian kid done good. And now you can show him and put him in commercials, put him in a lot of commercials, give him all the endorsements in the world that he wants, because this man is a Canadian product performing at the highest level. You know, number 5 on my list for why I love RJ is proof is in the pudding that the Air Canada effect and the championship year is bringing up players of his caliber to this point. And finally, we got a player of his caliber on our team that is Canadian and from our city. You know, we've had Canadians on our team in the past, like Jamal McGlure and Delano Banton. You know, Chris Boucher's on our team still, but not at the level of RJ Barrett and who he is. Very much a soon-to-be all-star. And that's something that's showing more and more that the city of Toronto, the Raptors, are arriving more and more with culture and history over the years, 30 years in. That a young man like RJ Barrett exists in this world where he is playing for the Raptors right now. And that is a beautiful thing. That's why, if I love it so much, our haters hate it so much. It's because they don't like seeing this, because what he represents is the emergence of basketball in Canada and as a force globally and as a force for your entertainment dollar in Canada over other sports. They don't like that. So in some ways, I love that we have him as a symbol of a young man who's from our community, and he is performing at high level. Sure, there's other players in the league that may be above him as Canadians, SGA, Jamal Murray, possibly. But listen, he's close, and he is the greatest Canadian who's ever played for the Toronto Raptors to this point, at this point in time right now. And I can't be facetious or belittling of that. I need to be true about this and say this is a big deal. Even if the media ain't going to put it on spotlight enough, even if people aren't going to treat it with enough respect, this is a big deal that a young homegrown talent like Rowan Barrett Jr. from Toronto is on the Raptors at this point at the level of play that he plays at. Yeah, I love RJ for being consistent. Yes, number 7 on my list is consistency. RJ Barrett, you've been so consistent in your entire career. Honestly, sure, there's some blips and people say this, toxic asset, that crap, whatever. Talking about, well, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. No, look at his stats for his whole entire career, 6 years in the NBA. He's always averaged a double digits, and he's grown and he's gotten better every year. If we're talking about DeRozan code, with Mr. DeRozan behind here with me in this, RJ Barrett's got it. The Mamba mentality, the DeRozan code, because he is not settling on his laurels as a player of who he is. Every single year, he's coming back and being better because he worked hard in the offseason and he facet of his game has been worked out a little bit better. So I'm telling you right now, this man right here, RJ Barrett, this is who we're talking about today. Happy 25th birthday to you, sir. You are a great Toronto Raptor, a great Team Canada player, and a great Canadian in general. That's right. I love RJ also. Number 8 reason why I love RJ is that he's a good friend and a teammate. The way that he is with Emmanuel Quickley is so awesome. The way they arrived together as friends was helpful to both of them in the transition, but especially for Emmanuel. And, you know, in some ways, RJ let Emmanuel feel like he was at home already being here. By proxy, I'm home, bro. You're home too. And I love the way that RJ, like I said, is just a good teammate. In some ways, he's very supportive of all of his guys. He's been supportive towards the rookies this past year. He's supportive of his leader, Scott, on the team. He's supportive of his Duke colleague, Brandon Ingram. He's just a supportive guy. And honestly, he's just a good dude. You can tell that, listen, he is a real guy, like about being accountable about things, much like Scott. They're very, very much like we can look at ourselves in the mirror and say, did we do well enough or not? We need to be accountable. And they will hold their teammates accountable also. And they also really, really strongly respect their coach, Darko Rajakovic. So it's like, it's a great thing, man. RJ Barrett's personality is fantastic. He's a true professional, but let's not get it twisted. He's not a softie. He's a hard-edged dude who knows that he needs to be tough and he needs to keep everybody accountable around him, including himself, on everything. Yeah. Yeah. And the last thing I love RJ for, number 9 on my list of 9 things I love RJ for, is this clutch. I'm going to say this right now. RJ Barrett does have a clutch factor to him that people don't realize. There's oftentimes with Team Canada, we've seen him hit huge threes and do stuff that's amazing near the end of the game. And, well, that highlight reel of his that came out this week showed it. He had a barrage of three-pointers in the game against Phoenix this season that absolutely helped us beat the Phoenix Suns. 3 huge threes in crunch time late. And that's something he has done but for both Team Canada and Toronto Raptors at times, and he'll get better and better at. He's not afraid to take those big shots, and he'll live and die with them just like any great player, whether they're going to go in or not. So I love you, RJ. I'm so happy that you finally made it to the Raptors a couple years ago. When you got drafted by the Knicks, I was sad for you. I said, man, I'm sad he's going to the Knicks. But I knew in my heart, somehow, some way, that you would come home and play for us one day. And that's what happened. And that's why it's a beautiful thing, man. A young star, a very high draft pick out of Duke named RJ Barrett came home and played for the Raptors. And I'm telling you, man, his broad shoulders can carry the weight that's hard to play in your local market with your friends and families around. And yeah, he carries it well. And he's perfectly fine. And long live RJ Barrett and him and being on the Raptors. I'm going to say that over and over again. Everybody who thinks it's so quick to trade this guy for something else down the road, you're wrong for that. This guy is going to be on this team. Masai Ujiri has known RJ Barrett since he was a child. And you know what? In some ways, there's a little bit different a relationship with them than the average Raptor, just so y'all know. And we need to remember that. A lot of y'all forget this. This is a man who Steve Nash bought his first crib ever for him in his entire life. This is a man who one day told his daddy, he said, I don't want to play football anymore. It's getting in the way of basketball. And I'm ready to get out there and just play basketball, Dad. All right, RJ, we're going on the basketball tip now. So, yeah, RJ, you're awesome. We love you so much. The Raptor Freak family is real ones for you. We're in the middle of Raps Nation where there'll be some people that are idiots and they just don't respect and love you the way they should. That's why we're coming out today with the Share the Love Club. I want to hear y'all in the chat sharing your love and respect for RJ Barrett and just all he does. Yeah, this is a crazy day. It's June the 14th, and there's some stuff going on in the States. You know, it just happens to be somebody else's birthday. But I want to say this right now. Some of that military parade that's going on in the States today is not for the president. They were going to do this parade anyway because it's actually the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. So it just happens to coincide with this. So just so people know, this isn't totally was for this idiot that is the president right now in the White House. This just happens to be dumb luck that it all coincides on the same day that the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army is on the same day. So he's hijacked it and tried to make it seem like it's his appreciation parade. It's such bullshit. Anyway, back to the stuff we want to talk about, and that's RJ Barrett on this birthday. I don't care who else's birthday it is today. The only birthday today for me is RJ Barrett. Maybe a couple of the other Raptors on here on my birthday list real quick. Let's look at them real quick. It's also today Freddie Gillespie's birthday. So happy birthday to Freddie Gillespie, who's 28 today. Raptor backup center during this Tampa year. Freddie, man, I have a lot of respect for you and Kent Birch for coming in and saving us at the center position after Alex Len and Aaron Baines. So Freddie Gillespie, happy birthday to you, guy. Also, happy birthday to Brandon Carlson, who we saw in the game last night in street clothes with Oklahoma City. Yeah, the rookie, he just turned 26 today. So happy birthday to short-time Raptor, Brandon Carlson, who was on our team at the beginning of the year and then went to OKC. And happy birthday to the father of Jalen Brunson. It is Rick Brunson's birthday today, guys. Nick. And also a former Raptor. That's right. Rick Brunson did suit up for the Raptors at a certain point. He's 53 today, guys. We'll see if Rick Brunson's still a coach on the Knicks after they make the hire for the new coach, which is so funny, that whole thing. Maybe they should just make Rick Brunson the head coach of the Knicks. Why don't they do that, maybe? And, of course, happy birthday to RJ Barrett, who's 25 today. That's a big birthday. That's a milestone birthday. 25 years old today. So, yeah, those are birthdays I'll celebrate. RJ, Freddie, Carlson and Brunson, too, I guess. All right, let's check on you guys in the chat. We have all the segments, the regular ones, Instagram stories, Raptors, Reddit reactions, the straight goods on Canadian goods, and the classic card of the day. So let's get into it. Let's see what you guys are saying. Trevor J, of course, is first in. And his words of wisdom are this: positivity is not about ignoring the negative, but finding the good in every situation. I love that. Yeah, it's crazy. Bad situations in some ways are bad, but there is always a duality to it and a silver lining. And you know what? You can choose to be happier by focusing on the silver lining in some ways. Don't be dumb and ignore the bad stuff. Be aware of it and be ready in any case for what you need to be ready for. But also at the same time, help your mental health by pointing out the good side of things and kind of maybe highlighting that more in your head. But be vigilant towards the bad stuff. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Commissioner J, Commissioner Fun, for this channel. And I'm having fun. Let's go, RJ Barrett. Woo, Star J Barrett. Let's get that all-star this year. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying the WNBA winners last night. Atlanta beat Chicago and Las Vegas beat Dallas. Yeah, good stuff last night. If you had your players playing in the fantasy league, hopefully you got your players in. We've got the check-in on the league right now. We got I'm leading James right now. Meredith has taken the lead back from Fiercey. So Fiercey's got some work to do in the next 2 days if she's going to try and make up the 20-point lead that MK has all of a sudden. Kaz has got a pretty good lead on Kareem right now. Logical Raptors fanatic leading over JP. And then Cool Cat had a nice lead over Edmund in the last match also. There's games tonight in the WNBA. Our referees for Sparks at Lynx. Roy Gibbien is the crew chief with Kevin Fahey and Bianca Burns. Liberty at Fever. Tim Green is the crew chief with Angelica Suffren and Beniam Maru. And the Storm are at the Valkyries. Michael Price is the crew chief. Algan Abazi and Charles Watson will be the other refs in that game for the WNBA today. So get your lineup up. There's 3 games. So hopefully you have a lot of players to play and collect those stats in your WNBA fantasy leagues. Raptor Freaks. That's right. Let's go. Yeah, Trevor's saying Indiana dropped the ball in the fourth quarter and made SGA take over the game to win it for OKC. Yes. Once again, I'm doing the collaborative reactions to the finals games with To The Point YouTube channel. So it's uploading right now to this channel. It's not ready yet, but it's doing it while we're on the stream right now. So by the time my stream will be over, the Game 4 reaction will be posted on my channel. If you don't want to wait, you can go to The Point's channel and see it already there. It's already up. But we're collaboratively posting reactions. They're about 20 minutes. And last night we were pretty tired, but we got some good stuff in there. Yeah, they really dropped the ball. You're exactly right. They, it's sad because they had all the momentum. That crowd in Indiana is fantastic. They are acting like us during our championship run in 2019 with our building being so loud, people standing and chanting defense the whole entire game. That's the way you're supposed to do it, guys. And Indiana's bringing it right. That crowd deserved the win last night, but alas, their team let them down. It's crazy because, like, honestly, they had all the ability to win this game, and they should have won this game. But kudos to the Thunder, who had resiliency to hang around. They did it without 3-point shots because they only made three. And well, it really was going inside and a little bit more dominance inside by the Thunder with the rebounding and the points in the paint. And just the Pacers went cold at the worst possible time, the last 3 minutes. How much of that was the Thunder's defense, and how much of that was the Pacers choking? One of the key things that really changed the game last night was Nesmith fouling out. Aaron Nesmith got his sixth foul and had to go to the bench. And well, Carlisle decided to put in Benedict Mathurin. And well, Benedict was the hero in the last game, but man, did he screw up this game. He screwed it up in two ways. He got really dumb touch fouls before the ball was inbounded, which gave extra free throws to the Thunder. And then when he got to the free throw line, he missed three important free throws at the end. So I honestly, man, I'm so disappointed in Benedict Mathurin today because he kind of fumbled the game for them last night. Not just him, though, because none of the other Pacers stepped up and made huge shots at the end. We didn't have any Halliburton show up at the end. Siakam did not do it either at the end. And that's too bad. So it is an even series. In some ways, that was the script that Scott Foster came with for the NBA when he showed up at the game, and he executed on it. And in some ways, there was some ref manipulation in this game. I saw it. You know, the calls on the inbounds play, they don't have to call those. Josh Tibbin calling those and putting Thunder players on the line for just one free throw in a very close game at the end. Yeah, those are momentum killers. And in some ways, they were working with the margin to keep it just out of reach of the Pacers at the end of the game. Of course, they did go cold and they didn't do what they needed to do. But kudos to the Thunder's defense tightening up at the end also. And yeah, if I have my 3 stars of the game, which I kind of go over on the to the point reaction, SGA obviously number one. You know, he started really, really slow. And Nebhard is really, really his shadow. He really does kind of cover him up really, really nice and plays him probably better than anybody in this league. But the thing was, the Thunder in the second half started switching him off. And this is why Nesmith fouled out, is because they kept switching Nebhard off of SGA to Nesmith, and Nesmith would foul SGA. And that was really, really crucial to getting the switch Nebhard off of SGA, because he ended up scoring way better in the second half. And, you know, Shea hit some huge threes, some tough shots, very high pressure stuff, especially in that arena with all that noise and the energy against him. So a lot of power to SGA, the MVP of the league, and carrying. Of course, Alex Caruso playing Alex Caruso times 10, getting more plays, shooting a very high percentage, just being a jet all over the court. He was a huge factor in this game. And then Jalen Williams carrying and doing a very good job of scoring in a lot of important places for them also. I said in the reaction that I feel like Jalen Williams may be taking notes from Pascal Siakam in the series, and there may be a part of like gleaning some of the things that Siakam does from it, because in some ways Jalen Williams has some of the same tricks in his bag that Siakam has. So I could honestly see Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder stealing some of Siakam's moves in the years to come. seriously, I gotta see this, man. All right, let's keep going in the chat. RJ, Trevor's saying, RJ, love him here, people. He is one of us, Raptors family. That's right. Never forget this, man. Never forget how special it is, and don't take it for granted. And on how we have it, Raptors fans, don't disrespect it. I'm so sick of this. I really do honestly feel like if you tell me, oh, RJ's not important for our team or this or that, man, you don't get it. In some ways, it's not just about basketball. Maybe it's not just about team building and certain things. It's about special connections. It's about heart. It's about why you do what you do. And what RJ does for what he does for the Raptors is pure, unadulterated truth. And I wish people respect that more and understand that is not always common. And, you know, there's more players in this league like Kawhi Leonard that would discard the Raptors and put it aside. And that's why, in some ways, you don't treat players like DeMar DeRozan and RJ Barrett in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I was pissed about DeMar when that happened, because it's a similar thing. There's an undying, true loyalty for the Raptors, unquestioned. I am not worried about how RJ Barrett feels about the Raptors and what he wants to do to help the Raptors. It's truth. And there's no reason to any worry or any kind of doubt about his intentions playing for the Raptors. Any player that comes from the States, you gotta kind of sometimes have in the back of your head, well, will he sell us out at some point? Like Bosh, like Carter. Will he sell us out at some point? Not with RJ. I know he never will. I know he never will. And in some ways, there's a real valuable thing about that, to have that kind of peace of mind and understand this person's solid in my life. If you can find a partner in your life that can be solid like that, a life partner, you're gold. You want to have somebody you can completely trust, that you absolutely know has got your back. And that's what I'm saying about RJ. And I feel like Raptors fans don't appreciate that enough, at least the ones that are younger that don't understand this. I mean, us older fans, we understand this, that the loyalty for the team is important and it is unquestioned when it comes to RJ Barrett. It's unquestioned. Stargate's here. Good to see you. Great Stargate, the man who beat the machine. I don't understand this obsession some fans have with wanting to trade RJ. As a staunch basketball head, I just don't get it. I don't think that there are fans. I don't think that there are people that have anything to do with Toronto. If they are Raptors Nation identified, I don't think they come from anywhere near the city. I really don't. I think that they don't get this completely. I think it's a geographical thing in some ways. It may be some idiot in Saskatoon. It may be somebody who means well, but they're out in like Fredericton. These people just won't get it. Maybe it is a little Raptors Digest idiot over there, Ben, on the East Coast, and not really understanding the connection with the city like we understand. Born in the city, downtown, grew up in the city. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like that's what it is. And then, of course, like I said, the intensity of it and the way that they go about it, if they're very voraciously like, y'all need to trade him, y'all need to trade him, former RJ fan that's a Knicks fan, or a US fan that just sees the Canadian matching and the Canadian synergy and the Canadian bonuses that I just described, and he hates it, absolutely hates it. I mean, we just heard an asinine podcast from Jeff Teague that came out this week talking about Canadian players becoming more powerful in the league, and the most xenophobic takes and idiotic, immature, totally unintelligent takes by Jeff Teague about Canadians in the finals and Canadians taking over the league. You hear how he talks in that podcast, and it makes you understand why some Americans down there, if they're using the tools of social media for bots and misinformation, why they wouldn't come in if they really hate the Raptors and try and screw up something so beautiful as RJ Barrett playing for the Raptors. So that's why I would tell Nation, if you're a part of contributing to the noise about anything about trading RJ or this or that about RJ and the Raptors, know that you've been duped or gaslighted. If you have good intentions for the Raptors and you actually love them, you got to stop carrying the relay torch from people that are absolute garbage, that have no good things for us, and stop parroting them. Whether it's Durant trade this, Giannis trade that, RJ gets traded this, y'all are being pawns in a social media game by people that hate the Raptors. And y'all are idiots for letting yourself be used like that, is what I would say to people like that. So that's where I think it is, man. It's the Raptors haters that want us to trade RJ because they don't like seeing us have the very fun having a hometown hero on our hometown team. And that, the haters are going to hate. Yeah. G saying they went away from Pascal in the fourth. The big thing I noticed, G, in the fourth was the Pacers went away from their offensive system where they moved the ball around. There was way too much kind of like I'm on an island trying to beat somebody off the dribble. And that played right into the defensive powers of the Thunder. And that was a huge difference. At a certain point, Halliburton got panicked and he tried to do too much by himself. And he was dribbling around a little too crazy around Chet. I'm going to do this and this, but it wasn't getting a good shot. Now, as the broadcast team said, in some cases in the finals with such good defenses, you don't need a great shot. You need to just get good shots. But they weren't even finding good shots. They didn't have any really good shots to the basket in the last 4 minutes. And I really do feel like it's because they went away from what was working the whole game with that great passing over here to there, to Nebhard in the corner. Boom, he hits a three. And that was a big problem. That's where they went off the script. I think that Rick Carlisle made some huge mistakes last night. One of them was putting Benedict in at the end instead of somebody like Obi Toppin or TJ McConnell. I feel like if Nesmith was going to foul out, this is a thing. Benedict's a great young player. I love him. I want him to be on Team Canada, and I know he's going to be really, really good, but he is still a very young player. And I think that he wasn't ready for the high pressure situation of game 4 last night to play in that situation as a young player. He's a fantastic athlete. He's a great scorer, but he did not play smart in the last minutes, and he cost them the game. And I think that Rick Carlisle would have been smarter to put in TJ McConnell in that situation because he has a lot of playoff experience, or Obi Toppin. That one of those two guys should have been the replacement for Neesmith when he fouled out. So that was a fail. There was also a time earlier in the game where Rick Carlisle had a lineup out there that really lost the lead of the game for a little while in the second quarter when he had a lineup out there with no Halliburton, no Siakam, and no Mathurin. And I didn't like that because the team was sputtered on offense and they didn't have a go-to guy. I think Rick Carlisle, the rule is you can have an equality to your team and who you're going to, but you need to have either Siakam or Halliburton on the court at all times. If not one of those two, Benedict needs to be out there because you need one of those very, very top-notch offensive weapons between those three guys on the court at all times. And there was a period of time in the game last night where you were playing like Ben Shepherd and Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell and Miles Turner. And none of those three guys I just mentioned. And then later, you had some weird lineups too later where I didn't totally agree with what was going on. Now, Dagnall did use the bigs against the Pacers last night. And Hartenstein and Holmgren were big on the game, especially Holmgren with his rebounds. But Hartenstein not playing as much. In some ways, Kenrick Williams came in and played at times. I'm not totally understanding what is going on with Hartenstein. He was smart, and he did relent and took Cason Wallace out of the starting lineup and put Isaiah back in. But also, Isaiah didn't play a whole lot of minutes, and he gets sat out a lot more for Kenrick Williams at times, which was very interesting. Yeah, G saying they wanted Pascal traded and now crying. It's like some of the Scotty stands, not us, true fans, don't want anyone scoring more than him. If they do this to Ingram, we know without a doubt why. Yeah, this is immature young fans that don't understand Scotty Barnes, and he would be mad at y'all if you're standing for him because you want him to be the leading scorer for the Raptors. Y'all are idiots. This doesn't matter in the NBA. If you're only mad at people that try and outscore Scotty, and that's why you chase people out like Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam, y'all are fuckers. You need to shut the fuck up. You're toxic Scotty fans, and you need to get over yourself. He's not going to be the leading scorer again this year. RJ Barrett and Brandon Ingram will average more points than him. Hell, Emmanuel Quickley might average more points than him this year. So get over yourself, Scotty stands that think you're really like, oh, I'm such a good Scotty fan. I'm going to be berating the other Raptors in his favor because I'm such a good fan. No, you're not. You're a shitty fan because you're not a fan of the Raptors first and wanting what Scotty wants is winning for his team and not all the things for himself. See, it's like these people don't even know Scotty Barnes or what makes him tick or who he is about being such a selfless team player. And they don't get it. Y'all are such fans. Why don't you understand him? Why don't you understand that he's a Magic Johnson and let RJ Barrett be James Worthy? Seriously, I don't understand why y'all can't see this. Maybe it's because you're too young and you're too stupid and you don't understand it. Seriously, it's so dumb. The Scotty stands that are like this, y'all need to shut the fuck up. I like that y'all love Scott, but y'all need to get educated quick on what the NBA is all about and how a team plays and wins in the NBA. A team like the Thunder and the Pacers. A team. And in some ways, Scott is the ultimate team player. And you know what? He loves being a team player. Y'all want him to score 30 and do this and that? Well, get over yourself. That's probably not going to happen. And y'all need to chill out on that. That's right. You're right, G. If they start in on Brandon Ingram when he shows up and they start their negativity towards him, I'm going to be like, yeah, screw this shit. Screw this shit. You have done this to Fred, Dennis, Pascal, and RJ, and we're sick of this shit. Stop this shit is what I'm going to say. And some of them aren't even really Raptors fans. Some people will be Scotty fans first because they're coming from the States and they pine for him to be down in the States. So they will try and pull little threads to pull it apart. And that may be part of that energy and why they do that too. It may not totally be because they're wanting to help the Raptors. They may just want to try and help Scotty or tell Scotty or want Scotty to leave. And we don't want those people in our fan nation. So Scotty fans that are like that, fuck off. Is what I'll say right there. The real ones, the right ones, the ones that actually are fans for Scott and what he wants. I love you. That's what I want. That's there. Randolph saying, morning blessings, beloved Raptor freaks, most informative gang. Many live for acceptance. If acceptance costs you who you are, then the cost is too high. Yeah. I'm not worried about that. I'm not trying to get these subs. No. I want to be who I'm self. That's right. If you don't accept me, that's fine. That's fine. Lots don't, and it's fine. I mean, I do what I do, and if you enjoy it and you want the information, the most informative gang, you can find me. But listen, I'm not trying to kowtow or change for anybody, and that's been obvious in the 4 years I've been doing this show. Everybody knows that. Yeah, Randolph, I love you, man. Blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Yeah, don't compromise yourself to please others. That's what the word is there. Yeah. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. RJ was the best acquisition for Raptors culture. He's bought in, he's focused, he gives his 200%. He is professional. That's right. That's right. And the thing is, he can be a budding superstar without the need of his ego being inflated or taken care of, because he understands his true confidence in himself, that he doesn't have to derive it from the outside. RJ Barrett does not have to get self acceptance. I mean, he doesn't have to be accepted by everybody else. He has a confidence on himself that he knows who he is and what he's doing. And you know what? He don't need you to accept him, because he's going to do it anyway. And a lot of us do accept him. We love him. But yeah, I'm totally with you on this. He's 200% for the Raptors and giving his all. And there's undoubtedly no doubt about that. And I'm looking forward to next year and seeing him continue to grow as a player, a young man. He's 25 years old today. And what he's going to do next season as far as passing and defense and more awesome, great plays for the Raptors. Great dunks, great alley-oops, great huge three-point shots, great kick out passes when he drives a lane and bull into the lane and put those nice layups in also. I'm all about all of it. And, of course, the years to come for Team Canada also. That's right. Fiercely saying he's also a dog. Team Canada and the Raptors are so lucky to have him. No trading RJ. This is true. This is true, Patrick Beverly. You called him a puppy a couple years ago, and they laughed at you, Emmanuel and RJ. You think we're puppies? No, these are full-grown dogs. That's right. They're dogs. They got dog in them. We've seen the x-rays. There's a little yapper in there. No, there's a big husky dog in there. There's a big original Toronto Husky heart in RJ Barrett and the way he plays. That's right. Kaz is here. Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you, Kaz. That's right. Good to see you, my guy. That's right. Let's see what else you guys are saying in here. Jumped ahead. Fiercely saying he supports his teammates as well. Happy birthday, Star J. Yeah, only the best and happiest birthdays. 25th birthday. It's a milestone birthday for RJ. And it's crazy. He's 25 and he's already played 6 years in the NBA, man. He's going to be going into 7th year. And that's fantastic. I love that, man. He's a veteran. He's ahead. If you think about it, like if he's going to be getting in his prime in like 2 or 3 years from now, well, he's really on his way. He's really come a long way already in the league. And, he's not the same player he was when he was a rookie for the Knicks. He's not at all. He really has advanced his game in some ways. Haters are going to be hating. Some ways, some Knicks fans never liked him, and they're taking pot shots at him now still. There were toxic Knicks fans that never liked RJ and were totally mean to him and wrong to him in New York. And in some ways, maybe some of those people are just carried on and come in, and that's part of the noise too, is what I'm seeing there. You know what I'm saying? A quarter of a century for RJ. That's right. He's 25. I'll be 50 this year. That's right. I'm twice his age. Yeah. Trevor saying, did you see that video clip of those guys don't like how NBA finals have too many Canadian players? Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. First of all, Jeff Teague, you're an idiot. You were a shitty NBA player when you played, and you're a shitty podcaster since. Look, I can kind of understand your fun down-home style of just being real talk and real this and that. But you know what? You really do have a low IQ. Seriously. What that is a symptom of American culture right now. Xenophobia, hate, division, and not liking people. You just hating people just because they're Canadian? Well, why don't you just insert the word Chinese or black or Latino in there instead, Jeff Teague? And know that you're following the playbook of MAGA, you dumbass little shit. And you know what? Listen, I already had no respect for you. But the fact that you came out with a very hateful rant against Canadian players on your podcast recently in a xenophobic way, it's just sad. It's sad for you because you're ignorant and so stupid that you can't accept people. And you know what? Thank you for being true, I guess, to yourself in your ignorant, stupid ass ways, because you pull the veil back and you give us a really good insight and see exactly how the bigot and the xenophobe's mind works. So great. Thank you for giving us a good, bad example of the ugliness of the American mindset of xenophobia and bigotry. And you know what? Your country isn't the greatest country in the world. Your country is a piece of shit banana republic at this point because of the taco man. So you go ahead and be just like Trump, and you can just take Canadians out of the word of your mouth and say immigrants, and it's the same fucking hateful, divisive bullshit. So Jeff Teague, you're an idiot. Two finger salute for you, my guy, and fuck right off, Jeff Teague. You know what? We're coming and taking anyway. And you say, I don't like this idea. Canada's coming to take it. You know what? We're going to show y'all at the Olympics in the future to come. Canada's coming, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. And you know what? Maybe y'all should have worked harder instead of being rah, 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 America this, America that. We don't have shit that smells. Well, your shit does smell. And y'all have not been working hard enough, and the rest of the world caught up with y'all on global basketball. And we're going to show y'all at the All-Star game and at the Olympics and other things coming up. You guys think you're going to be just dominant because you're arrogant and you can just coast to it? No. We're going to show you. The other countries in the world are going to show you. And you know what? You better be not surprised when y'all don't get that gold medal on the podium at the next Olympics. Yeah. Yeah, I'm serious. Jeff Teague, you're an idiot. Fuck you. And honestly, Trevor, I'm going to ask you, I never want to see Jeff Teague shared in our stuff ever again. He is not worth paying attention to. He can fuck right off. And honestly, I hope people cancel him more for this. But sadly, this is the flavor of the year for 2025 with Americans: bigotry, xenophobia, and just plain low IQ hate and stupidity. Honestly, that's what's going on there, man. So dumb. Stargate saying RJ is only 25 and seems like he's been in the league forever. Yeah, it does seem like that. It really does seem like that. Fiercey's reminding everybody, don't forget the vote for WNBA All-Stars. Yeah, I voted yesterday. I kind of voted for the best players on multiple teams and trying to spread it out. It's a weird format. You don't vote by conference. You just pick 10 players from all around the whole WNBA and put them in. And you got 4 backcourt and 6 front court players. And, you can have all players that are in the East or the West, depending on how you want to do it. But yeah, I was pretty standard with it. I picked the big names like Caitlin Clark and Aja Wilson, Nafisia Collier, and who else was on my list? Sako Sabali. Yeah, people like that. I went by who were the leading scorers for the teams. I did not pick Plum, though. I think she's annoying. Yeah, Kelsey Plum, I did not vote for her. All right, let's go. Randolph Phillips is saying, sending happiest birthday blessings to RJ Barrett. Thank you for your contribution to basketball in Canada. Yours will give birth to a new generation of stars all over this country. That's right. That's the thing. It goes like that. RJ Barrett will inspire young kids to get out there in the driveway and get down to the rec gym and start putting in hoops and putting up shots more and more. It's what begets what begets. And Vince Carter beget that. And RJ Barrett will beget more in the future. And I love that, man. In some ways, he's a shining example of coming from the city, along with our AJ Lawson of Brampton. You know, those two guys growing up together, being around each other. You know, it's special that they're both Raptors at this point. And they are both shining examples for kids in our community and seeing where you can get to. And that's awesome. I love that. Isaac Campbell's here. Good to see the benevolent one checking in from the capital city of Ottawa here in our great country of Canada. Strong and free, never 51st state. I was so pleased when I heard RJ was coming home. No quit with RJ. You know, that was the saving grace of that very difficult day when we lost to the worst team in the league, the Pistons, and we traded OG Anunoby to New York. That was the one thing that made me so happy and smiling after the whole thing, because it was really tough to say goodbye to OG in a shocking trade very early in the morning. And then knowing that RJ and Emmanuel were coming, that made a lot of it feel good. I was like very excited about that. And the jubilation that RJ Barrett would be coming back to Toronto and playing for us. I mean, that is like the thing that was really great about it. Is like, look, losing OG, a supreme talent in this league, one of the best defensive players in this league, obviously. Honestly, he should be on the defensive team every single year, NBA. Shame on you. Was tough. And you don't want to give up a talent like OG very easily. But getting RJ back and the fit and him being home, that really made it easier and it felt good. And I want to continue to feel good because he plays for us. And when I go to home games and I see RJ play for us in the Scotiabank Arena live, it's just a different feel, man. There's something to it. You know, in some ways, he gets protective of his home court, like a Canadian would fight out of Fort York against invaders. Well, that's the same thing that RJ's doing out there when he's playing at Scotiabank Arena. He's protecting home court in the castle. And he's a knight in shining armor. It's out there slaying the dragons of the other teams. And I love them for it. I really do. I really, really do. Stargate saying some of these refs in the NBA, I recognize some of the names. Some of those refs, the ones from the WNBA, yeah, they kind of cross over. Agana Bazi has been doing NBA games in recent years. Yeah, there's a lot of crossover. I mean, they use the WNBA and the G League as the training grounds for the NBA. So quite a few of the refs will graduate from those other leagues and end up being in the NBA. And some of the ones that are getting little tastes of ref in the NBA, like Agana Bazi and Biniam Maru, uh, you know, they're very much like part time for the NBA, but they're getting tried out. And if they do well, they get more. And then eventually maybe they become a full time NBA ref. It's tough. It's tough to break in there. There's very limited spots in the referee roster. You really have to be creme de la creme, top notch to get there. Yeah. Kaz saying, I respect Andrew Nebhart, but he ain't stopping SGA. This is kind of the whole thing where, it's kind of like he's going to get his, but can we slow him down? Can we kind of stymie him? And I feel like for a good part of the game, Andrew's a real annoying presence to SGA. I mean, it would be fun to hear what they're saying to each other, some in the mics and stuff. Like they did have SGA mic'd, but they showed him like telling Chet to get up after he rolled his ankle. Get up, Chet. We need you. But we didn't hear any of the shit talk between Andrew and SGA. I mean, that would be gold, honestly. I'm sure you could hear Andrew muttering under his breath, saying some things while he's trying to lock him up, and SGA's trying to like beat him. Man, there's probably some really cool trash talk going on between close friends. Like the broadcast said last night, Andrew and SGA have been playing against each other and around each other since they were children. So it's a very similar thing to AJ Lawson and RJ Barrett. These are Canadian guys that grew up together in the Canadian system, and they're super, super familiar. That's why I think that in some ways, this is the worst possible matchup for SGA in the finals because it's Andrew, who's his counterpart. He would have a better time going against Derek White and the Celtics. He would have a better time going up against Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers. He'd eat them alive. But because it's Andrew, there's a little bit of a speed bump in trying to stop him. Nobody's going to stop him. You're right, Cass. It's one of those kind of players like Kobe and Michael. He's going to get his one way or another, but you can try and put a speed bump in front of him. And I feel like Andrew Nebhart was the worst matchup in the finals for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander personally. That in some ways, that's part of the reason why the Pacers are competitive is because the top player for the Thunder has a really tough defender on him. And he's done fantastic. Like I said, the only way that SGA got a lot of his points last night is when they did switches off picks and he got switched to another player like Neesmith. Then he could go feast. But when Andrew's on him straight up, he's carving him really good, man. And you can see what he's doing. He's doing things with his hands. Like he's holding his hands where SGA is trying to look. He's really moving like this. And because there's such a similar body type and athleticism, he really can shadow him. And that has been huge in this series and keeping the Pacers competitive. Seriously, I think the Thunder would have ran over other Eastern Conference teams, and that Andrew Nebhart is in particular the thing that's keeping this from being a rout series right now. Seriously. Smooth saying, I'll say this again. RJ is a scoring machine, 20 point per game. It's very hard to get guys like this. Yeah, he's steady too. He's very, very steady. And, he's reliable. He's durable too. Like, he is very, very good at staying healthy. And he's not one of these guys that's going to take a poo-poo kind of little injury and sit out for it. He's playing like if he can come out there and play, he will. I mean, we saw him toss his cookies before the game last year. Like Trevor J and I are watching the pregame shoot around and we like see RJ run off the court and like put his head in the garbage can and threw up. And he didn't play that night, but often RJ is coming out there and showing up and he is not totally 100%. And I appreciate, his durability and his ability to be there for the Raptors on a lot of occasions. There's some games where we may rest guys and RJ's the only like premier player on a roster who's playing that night. And he has to carry as the main guy because Scotty and Emmanuel and them are all out. And he's done very well in those games, leading our team as the singular main barbecue guy that's available. So, man, RJ's awesome. We love RJ. That's what it's all about today. Sharing the love for RJ Barrett on his 25th birthday. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Stargate saying Jeff Teague is an arenas wannabe as far as a podcast goes. He is just a Gil copycat with a personality of a cardboard. You know what? I'm going to give you a dunk. I think that's spot on. I think that there's a new genre of stupid ass podcasters, and Gilbert Arenas is, yeah, I think you know what? As much as I don't like Gilbert, I think I might like him a little bit more than Jeff Teague after this one. So I'm going to give Stargate a dunk. He's exactly right. They're in the same genre of kind of jabronis. They're like real talk NBA players. They're talking about it from a real standpoint, but also at the same time, there's a general ignorance to them that is prevalent inside them that, they may know the NBA from playing in it and stuff like that, but they don't know life. Let's just put it that way. They don't know life. So 93 for Stargate. 93 is your dunk total now. Yeah, Smooth saying, plus he played in New York, 4 years playing in the toughest basketball market in the world. These Knicks fans love RJ. They wish they had him back. They either love him or hate him. And some of them chased him out of town with their toxicness, and some of them still pine for him and love him now. I mean, it's I seen the Knick fan come into Raptors Reddit and say, "Why are you guys talking about trading RJ so much? I thought you guys loved him. He's from Toronto." And I'm with them. I'm like, Knicks fan, I don't understand this either. I don't understand these Raptors fans, these turncoats, these Benedict Arnolds, these Donald Trumps. I don't understand them. How can you be such a turncoat against your city and a guy like RJ Barrett, Raptors fans that are all about this? Because the Knicks fan, some of them are like, why would you guys sell out RJ like this? Seriously, they can't understand this. I don't either. Let's just put it that way. I don't understand it either. You know, it's hilarious. The market of the New York is so tough. They really might need to consider hiring Rick Brunson as their head coach and letting him coach his son, Jalen Brunson. Because, man, nobody wants this job, man. They really screwed up. Some people are trying to say that they need to kiss Tom Thibodeau's ass and apologize to him and try and get him to come back and just take the job. Hilarious. This kind of stuff is so fun. Where's my popcorn? I want to watch. It's so fun. This guy had a wish list for who he wants to coach the Knicks. And it was hilarious. He said the first name was Jeff Van Gundy. I'm like, oh my God, no. What are you doing, man? You want Jeff Van Gundy to come back and coach the Knicks right now? Don't you know how old he is right now? Why has he not been head coaching for a while? Why do you think? He just recently came back as a specialist coach for one of the Western Conference teams, and he's kind of helping them out, but he's not really trying to be too much of a I don't know. This is crazy. Y'all want to revisit the 90s with Jeff Van Gundy as your coach, Knicks? You want him to coach the style he did back then? Now? Man, y'all are crazy, man. Y'all are crazy. And then their second choice is Jason Kidd. Sorry, I thought y'all got the memo. He's hired already. He's under contract. You ain't getting Jason Kidd. These are jabronis, man. These guys are idiots, honestly. The Knicks, as an organization, and their fans are idiots. And in some ways, their wish list for their coaches and stuff like that. Oh, my gosh. I mean, seriously, I have no idea who y'all should hire. In some ways, y'all got yourself in this predicament all on your own. Seriously, it's hilarious, man. I love what's happening with the Knicks so much. It's really funny, man. Seriously, it's a really good high drama, and they're all figuring it out, realizing, like what I said a couple days ago. Holy crap, we just stepped into another 10-year cycle of not getting anywhere because we're not going to have the right position for a coach. Yeah. That's what you did. You had the right guy. You overreacted. Ha! Oh, so funny. It's so funny, man. Yeah. Seymour saying, I called it. Both NBA and NHL will go 7 games. Well, that's stuff right there. Yeah. Now, I was talking about it on To The Point with King last night. I could see this happening. I could see Oklahoma City winning the next game, and then the Pacers winning the game 6, and then it going to game 7. And, even though the game will be in Oklahoma City, somehow, some way, because of the way the Pacers have been, a team of destiny, they're playing a certain way, I still think the Pacers will win in game 7 in Oklahoma City, which is very interesting. It's too bad they didn't win last night. They would have won the championship for sure if they had gotten the deal done last night. But once again, the extender was there. He had a job to do, Scott Foster. And also, the Thunder are not trying to roll over and die. They don't want to lose. And in some ways, the Pacers made some key mistakes, and they allowed for the outcome last night. But yeah, it probably will go 7 games in both the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals. I could see that, Seymour. UC's here. Good morning to UC. Good morning, Raptors Nation. Hopefully, RJ will have many more years of having a birthday being a Raptor. I wish this wish also, UC, and I'm going to give you a dunk for such a pleasant thought to me. I agree, man. I mean, seriously, let's stop throwing him under the bus and treating him like he's disposable, Raptors Nation. He is not. He is the heart and soul of our team to a degree. I mean, maybe Scotty is the heart, but RJ's the soul of our team. 6 dunks for UC at this point. Good stuff, man. I love that comment right there. It's totally within my heart also. That's right. Stargate saying, that's why I'm kind of disappointed in Sheb with his Scotty's takes lately. He seems to be one of those who only views Scotty's value in offensive output terms. You can't view a player like him that way. Yeah, I feel like this is a real tell that people are not like really understanding basketball and what all the things that basketball are. Once again, we can blame ESPN in the way that the NBA has been covered and over importance, that it kind of indoctrinates young fans to think in certain ways of what's important. And honestly, what is important? This is what's important. We've always said this is what's important. The win, the team win. It's not about individual stats. It's not about who scores what. It's about winning. And seriously, the evidence is in the finals right now. The team that's won and played the most like teams are in the finals and playing right now. Not the Celtics, not the Cavs, not the Lakers, not any of this bullshit. You know, you can have amazing scoring, but that doesn't mean you win because you need defense too. You need rebounding. You need so many other things. You need team play. You need team chemistry. So, yeah, keep sleeping on this, idiots from the last generation of basketball that think that the era of LeBron was the correct way that basketball is supposed to be played. No, that was the anomaly. That was the worst kind of basketball. The selfish me, I'm an isolation player that's only going to do things on my own and forget about my teammates. No, that era is over. We're going back to the traditional way of playing basketball again. And it's evidenced in the finals and the 2 teams that are here right now. And this is the way the Celtics played in the 60s. This is the way the Pistons played in the 80s. This is the way the Bulls played in the 90s. And yeah, we're going back to the way it should be after the era of LeBron and the overimportance of superstars and just scoring and stuff like that. We're going to go back to team basketball and parity and allowing for teams like Indiana to have success without any all NBA players and stuff like that. So, yeah, you go ahead and not get the memo, idiots that overemphasize scoring. You don't have to understand. It'll happen either way. And us that are in the know will be in the know. And y'all will be like casuals that do not understand the game of basketball is a team sport, and it's about team play. And, well, the era of overinflated egos and superstar isolation is over when LeBron retires. So get over yourself, fans that look at the lens through LeBron James's NBA, because it's going away. And the new NBA is much better and more entertaining to watch, like the finals right now. And that's what I say right there. Boom goes the dynamite. Sheb, we are all disappointed in you, man. Come on, man. You're old school like me. You should understand the history of basketball. You're an old Knicks fan. You understand Jeff Van Gundy's first stint on the Knicks. You should understand basketball. So what the hell's wrong with you, Sheb? Why did you get amnesia about what matters in basketball, bro? Because you used to espouse this right on your channel. But I don't know. What's wrong with you, bro? What's wrong? ESPN get to you too much? Is it too much in your head? And now, I don't know. That's why I don't watch it, because I know that they don't teach basketball. They teach TMZ style reporting for NBA is what they teach there. Yeah. Yeah, let's keep going. G saying the other thing with these fans is, why do they want players traded before they peak? They said Pascal already peaked and would regress. Like, how did you not see Pascal was just getting better? So is RJ. Once again, these are not our fans. These are wolves in sheep's clothing that come into our fan nation sites, and they just trying to cause confusion. So confusion. We have fans that do this in other fan nations too. You know, we did this to the Knicks. They fired their coach. In some ways, we gaslighted them to fire their coach, and they did. They took the bait. So this is the same kind of action. So people that take the baton from the gaslighters, and you're a bona fide Raptors fan, shame on you. You should be smarter than this and understand, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Siakam obviously is still peaking and going up like he is on the Pacers right now. And everybody who was saying we need to trade Siakam like 3 years ago, shame on you. You were part of the noise that led to what happened. And don't turn around and say, oh, we could have kept him. No, that's the gaslighter right there. They will say we should trade him. We should trade him. And then when we trade him, they'll make fun of us for trading him afterwards. So that's not somebody who's for us or in our fan nation. That's obviously a wolf in sheep clothing who's just infiltrated and just being a little shit. So I feel like that's a lot of the energy with the RJ stuff and the trade rumors and stuff is exactly coming from those kind of people. So it's up to you, Raptors Nation, whether you want to be a Raptors freak and understand this like we do, as real, true fans of the Toronto Raptors, or you can be a pawn for the fakes and the bots and the gaslighters and the people from other parts of the NBA that want to see the Raptors be tarnished and worse and worse. So it's up to you guys. It's your choice. It's your choice. That's right. That's right. Stargate saying Jeff Teague has the intelligence of a big toe hangnail. Yeah, I mean, I honestly listen. He's not a smart guy. I mean, I don't mind if he talks with a vernacular or an accent or says things, in a street way. That's not the problem. He wants to drop a bunch of N words. That's not the problem. You can be like that and speak in that way and be intelligent still. It's just that he's not saying intelligent things. He's an idiot. He's a dumbass. I mean, I love his podcast when he self-deprecates and puts himself down and says, yeah, I was horrible. I don't know I was out there. Yeah, that's true. And that's hilarious because you're a shitty NBA player. Yeah, that's great. But when he starts going off on his, anti-Canadian rant like he did this week, man, it's just not a good look. And are you dumb? Do you not realize we can see what you do up here? And do you want to come to Canada anymore? No, obviously you don't. Because if you come up here, people will be like, who the hell are you, man? What are you doing here? Either way, Jeff Teague, you're a low IQ individual. And this guy's saying you're as smart as a big toe hangnail. That's crazy, man. She's laughing about it. Guy's saying, I'm not a fan of Kelsey Plum either, Lex. She's very arrogant. And she made some shitty comments about Canada and the Raptors when we interviewed Becky Hammon for the Raptors position. She didn't want her to leave, obviously, from the Aces. Well, you're in the Sparks. You left the Aces anyway, Kelsey. But yeah, she's arrogant. She's got a lot of airs to her. And in some ways, she's a punk ass. So yeah, I don't like her either. So I can say, yeah, Kelsey Plum is another low-key anti-Canadian. I don't know if it was exactly that she's against Canada. She may have made a comment that seemed like that. I think it's more that she was against losing her coach. And she was, if it had been any NBA team, she probably would have said what she had said. You know what I'm saying? But I think maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Maybe she did make an anti-Canadian statement. But from what I remember, her energy was, I just love my coach, and I don't like people trying to come and interview her and trying to take her. Is kind of what it was. Smooth saying Teague just can't accept the fact that USA is no longer the undisputed number one in the game. Like what Canada went through with hockey, basketball is a global sport. It's great for the game. Yeah, I don't understand why you think it's so important. Like, y'all are so insecure down there. We need to hold global dominance of basketball with the USA. Like, it's almost like there's people in the U.S. government that meet, like, they're like joint chiefs of staffs and generals, and it's like, listen, the NBA's power hold is slipping. Canada is catching up in the rest of the world. What are we going to do? We need to do something. It's like they talk about it like it's an important, like, warfare thing or something like that. Strategic. The Americans have to be tops in nuclear war and in basketball. And if we're not on top, there's something wrong. I mean, seriously, there's energy like that about it. Like the State Department's involved in this shit. Like, we need to make sure USA basketball is dominant no matter what. It's the State Department's got to get in there. They're doing espionage. They poisoning people. I don't know what they're doing. The crazy ass shit. Just let people play basketball and let the ball decide who dominant team in the world is. Y'all don't do the work. Y'all get lazy. Y'all don't raise your team, your young players right. Well, this is what you get. Meanwhile, we got good nutrition and good water up here. We're growing 7'9" Montreal people. So yeah, you should be worried. Oliver Ryu's coming. But yeah, Jeff Teague, listen, you're so worried about USA staying dominant in global basketball. Well, you never helped that in any kind of way, did you? Were you on a Team USA? If you were, you probably sucked, and you probably helped them lose. Seriously, man. Seriously. Yeah, Cass saying that was funny when he told Chet to get up. Listen, Siakam was badass early in the game. We were getting a little bit of everything with him. Some blocks, three-pointer that was badass, some of his beautiful moves and spins. Just really, really being Siakam and giving us a little whole pack of what he does. And I was so proud of him. I was like watching it, and I'm like, man, I'm so proud of Pascal. He's got no pressure right now. He's playing like he is the king of this court, and he knows exactly what he's going to do. Well, there's one play where he's stepping in the lane, and Chet kind of stepped on his foot and rolled his ankle a little bit, and then he fell on the ground. And I was kind of like, oh, no, Chet's hurt. But to his credit, he got up and he kept playing. But he kept getting hurt, and then he got kicked in the shin. And Richard Jefferson like, there's not a lot of meat on that shin. I'm like, yeah, Richard. So I'm like, man, I don't give a shit. And if Doris Burke is gonna call him gritty one more time, I'm gonna be like, yeah, he's goofy, just like the mascot for the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah, sure. You want to keep calling him gritty? Yeah, he's gritty. Yeah, he's a goofy Muppet looking orange mess. Yeah, that's what he is. Yeah. I want to hear the shit talk between SGA and Andrew, man. That would be the league pass I want to get on. Audio league pass. You can hear just SGA the whole game. No commentary, no Doris Burke, no Mike Breen, just SGA and Nebhard talking the whole game through the mic on SGA. I'd rather watch that broadcast. I don't need these jabronis to tell me what's happening on the court. I'll watch it and I'll listen to the MVP play against his Team Canada brother and a battle of that they're going through. That would be gold to me, honestly. We gave this idea a couple years ago on this channel. Adam Silver, you should have a special league pass that has the mic'd players as the audio and nothing else. We don't have to hear any of these jabroni commentators like Richard Jefferson. So I would pay that. I would want to watch that. Seriously, I would. G saying, not sure if this was true, but someone showed a group screen chat with Kyrie or with Kyle, and he said that there are 4 of us in the finals. And yes, I'm partly Canadian, paraphrasing. It is true. It is true. This is a story from last night. Of course, I thought that they were going to do a live chat like where they were talking, but no, they did a chat like typing stuff. And it was a chat between Kevin Love, Channing Frye, and Kyle Lowry live chatting during the finals last night. This is totally true. Kyle wrote in at one point last night that there's 4 of us representing right now. And he's like, oops, did I say us? That I'm a Canadian? Yeah, he is a Canadian. He's honorary. And in some ways, he's identifying with these guys, not necessarily with Siakam. I mean, he loves Siakam, his beloved, but he's also saying, yeah, there's 4 of us in this. Oh, did I say that? Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Yeah, you represented USA at Rio, bro, and got a gold medal there with DeMar, right? But you are one of us. He's honorary Canadian. And that's for sure. Our Groat is an honorary Canadian, and that was awesome, man. Yeah, I love that. In some ways, it's like Kyle's just true and honest, and that's true and honest. He is a Canadian. He knows that, and he can show citizenship with SGA, Mathurin, Dort, and Nebhard for sure. For sure. I love that so much. Smooth saying Canada, France, Australia all have very strong programs. Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic are coming up. I hear Jamaica's coming too, guys. But yeah, I mean, there's the historic European powerhouses are still around too, like Serbia and Lithuania and teams over there, Spain. It's going to be more and more competitive. Like the parity in the NBA is coming to the global stage too. The U.S. is not going to be like so far ahead that they're doubling up people. The days of going 104 to 56 to Angola for United States are over. And South Sudan is coming to mess y'all up too. So it's like there's so many good teams around the world now, and it's gonna be so good for FIBA basketball, the Olympics, World Cup, and all that stuff. It will be bad for the United States, but it will be good for everybody else. And I'm excited about it. Germany's finding success, France is finding success, we're finding success, and this is true. These teams are very good, and there's a lot of them in Europe. There's ones emerging in Africa. And the Asian teams are getting better and better too. So it's like, man, yeah. You know what? You should be worried, Jeff Teague. And it's not just the Canadians you should be worried about. Maybe we're number 1 on the list you should worry about, but you should be worried about the Australians. You should be worried about the French. You should be worried about the Germans. You should be worried about the Filipinos. I'm just saying, you should be worried about everybody who's coming up in the world of basketball USA. Because in some ways, just like in basketball, in science, in medicine, in innovation, in all kinds of things, y'all are failing and lagging behind, and other countries are taking over for you in the leading of the world as far as China, India, and other countries around the world, filling those spots where y'all are leaving cracks because you have an idiot president right now. Yeah, that's just how it is. He took all the money away from the scientists. Well, brain drain. Hello, everybody's leaving the States that's smart. And y'all are going to be a dumbass country. Where all the smart people go? Why are we so stupid all of a sudden? Oh, idiocracy. Oh, damn it. Why is Trump the president? We're dumb. Yeah, y'all are dumb. And I want to say this real quick on No King's Day today. Everybody who's out there and standing up for America and democracy and has the right head on their shoulders, power to you in your resistance and resilience today. May you be unharmed or unhurt, unprovoked, and let you stand on your own ground on public spaces is your right. And as they come, realize that they are the oppressor, but they are the weak ones that are scared. So stand in your space and know the rules and play by the rules. But you guys are going to win today. I know you will. And they can threaten you with violence that will only make them look bad and makes them lose. So y'all get out there and get there and don't be afraid. I have all the respect and love for the protesters that will be hitting the streets today, even if there's a face of danger and just cruelty and idiocy on the other side. Yeah, they're going to look real bad after today. Trust me, whether it's that dumbass parade in Washington or the very, very vast majority of people out in the streets in big, huge cities, small towns, everywhere across America today on No King's Day saying, nope, we didn't want King George, and we damn for sure don't want King Donald. And I have all the blessings and protection and love for the people that have the courage to get out there. And everybody who's fallen in line with Trump, you bootlickers, you sad, sorry pieces of shit, you're going to deserve what you get in the end too, because you're going to go on some lists and you're probably going to get Nuremberg trials someday. Trust me, you will. That's right. So remember, yeah, like a guy saw this footage, this guy in New York yesterday, they're protesting New York, and the ICE officers out there, and they have their badges, and the guy's looking them up on the phone right in front of them, and he's saying, yeah, you have a lawsuit against you for unlawful contact on a person, police brutality. You're being sued for $80,000 right now. He's calling it out to the police's face on the street, and it's true because he can look at it on information and tell them this and stuff like that. You got a lawsuit. You got a lawsuit. Hilarious. I'm telling you, people are very creative in how they fight the power. You know, Rage Against the Machine is the anthem for right now. And people need to get out there and listen to Zach De La Roca's lyrics. And if you think that they sold out, you're the idiots. If you think that Rage Against the Machine was for you and your Trump side, fuck you guys. You're idiots. You couldn't understand that. So, yeah, some lady was out there playing trumpet outside the house where the building where the ICE agents or the National Guard were staying, just playing really bad trumpet all night to keep them dumbasses up. Yeah. You know what? You don't have to follow orders. You really don't. In some ways, you can say, no, I have a constitutional oath. And no, I don't serve kings. I serve the Constitution of the United States. It's that simple, military and ICE and police. I'll say that right now. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Trevor's saying, I remember SGA saying Andrew is very tough to play against him. That guy's a dog on defense to slow down SGA. Oh, yeah. The respect is very mutual. I mean, Andrew's kind of more cocky about it. I think that SGA has said in an interview the best player in the league is Andrew Nebhart. I think he said something like that. He said the guy who guards me the best is Andrew. I've heard him say that in interviews, and he's been very glowing towards Andrew. They really are very close friends, and that's got to be so much fun. I mean, SGA, if he wins this championship, he's the MVP this year, and in the last two rounds of what he had to play, he had to beat two of his closest friends, his cousin Nikel, and then his teammate Andrew Nebhart. And that's got to be sweet right there. You know, there's nothing like personal bragging rights with your family and friends. Trust me. There's nothing like that. That's right. May say nothing of South Sudan and Jamaica. That's right. Those were two names I brought up after you said that list there. That's right. Smith saying USA, you can't just assume they're winning it. That's arrogant. That's just the arrogance and ignorance and stupidity of what's gotten them to the point of having the president be Donald Trump right now. It's just like, oh, we're just so great. It doesn't matter. We're going to be great either way. No, you're not. And that man didn't make y'all great again. Y'all were great with democracy. Y'all were great under Joe Biden. Honestly, he had infrastructure bills and he was building America back and doing all kinds of great things for the country. Y'all were actually great last year at this time, but you're not anymore. Make America not great again is more like what they are. It's not a magna. It's manga. You're manga. Yeah, you're not MAGA. You're manga. Yeah, some weird Japanese art or something like that. You're manga, bro. You're not MAGA. You're making America not great again. Seriously. Kaz is saying Scott should just play for Jamaica, man. Team USA snubbed him. How is he not included in that program? Well, none of this stuff has come out yet. He's been on the long list, and in some ways, we'll have to see how things go. But I agree with you. I'd love for Scotty to play for Jamaica. But I don't know if he wants to. If it screws up his chance to ever play for the United States, he won't do it. He won't do it. I'll bet you. Smooth saying, oh, on the women's side, the Americans still dominate. The men, though, that's not the case. We'll have to see what happens with that, too. I'm really disappointed with the amount of Canadians in the WNBA right now. I feel like with the Toronto Tempo coming, this will help immensely. In some ways, Toby's coming. That'll be good. But we need more help. Kia Nurse is having kind of a down year. Letitia Emma here is not totally in the league exactly right. She is back with Valkyries at this point. But there's a lot of there should be more players. I think there's only like 5 Canadian women in the WNBA right now. And we need more of them. We need more of them ASAP. And well, maybe the delay on the wave of young Canadian women coming to WNBA and for Team Canada is coming. It's just a little bit behind the men's wave. But I could see it coming. And that Tempo team's going to inspire a lot of young women to pick up that ball and try and have WNBA dreams. So we'll have to see the effect of the Tempo, much like the Raptors 30 years ago. So we'll have to see. Yeah. Kaz is saying, I can't believe they fired Tibbs and their plan was to ask other teams' current coaches if they could interview. What is the logic? No, this is a knee-jerk reaction. It's classic New York kind of management. And I love it. I love when New Yorks because they did. They New Yorked. And it's funny, man. It's so funny that they're in this situation at this point. This is high comedy for us. You go ahead and sue us. If it's worth it, if you're going to do stupid shit like this, Leon Rose and James Dolan. So you go ahead. I think you should kiss Tom Thibodeau's ass and try and beg him to come back. Seriously. I really do think that's your best option right now. I mean, if y'all are going to try and bring out Jeff Van Gundy, that man he's not no spring chicken. I'm just going to say that right now. Even though he shaves his head, he's older than y'all think he is. Just trust me on this. And in some ways, the game is like, I don't want to do this bullshit and be in this pressure cooker of New York and coaching the Knicks. You might kill the man. Seriously, if you try and rehire Jeff Van Gundy at this point. Seriously, you might kill the man. Seriously. Stargate saying, oh, no, Lex. Fuck Gil, too. He says some slick shit about the Raptors all the time, too. Things like trade him to some obscure team like the Raptors. Yeah, just fuck him. Yeah, I'm sick of that disrespect. I really, really am. In some ways, we're going to make y'all respect us like Siakam. That's what's going to happen more and more over time. The 2019 championship was the first championship for the Raptors, and Masai is still hell-bent on this. We're not stopping here. We're going to come and get the second championship in the next 5 years, and we will make you respect the Toronto Raptors when it's all said and done. If you're respecting Siakam more and more, well, you're learning. This is how the learning curve goes. You will catch up, and you will be forced to respect Siakam. That's right. Just like Siakam, the Raptors too. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Fiercely saying Jeff Teague is trash. I don't know if he has children, but such a bad example. And this is how you perpetuate racism. Very sad and embarrassing. I know. It's normalized. He normalizes xenophobia. He normalizes Americans thinking, this way. And it's the wrong way, man. In some ways, you have more in common with Donald Trump, Jeff Teague. You're basically another flavor of the month of xenophobia and bigotry in the world of Trump. That is very much, that's what they want. In some ways, this is what I wrote on a comment for his little stream. I said, y'all are buying into the culture war. You think it's a culture war between Canada and the U.S.? No, you're falling for it. It's a class war, Jeff Teague, and you're being a pawn in the middle of it for having xenophobia from the United States towards the rest of the world. You're just as bad as Trump's travel ban on other countries. So you're an idiot. And Fiercey is exactly right. You're a horrible example and role model for young people. So fuck you, Jeff Teague. Once again, 2-finger salute for your dumb ass. You sorry ass piece of crap, former Atlanta Hawk. That's right. That's right. There you go. Fiercely saying, I liked Kelsey Plum's game and feistiness, but when she started talking smack about WNBA coming to Canada, I checked out on her. That's what it was. That's right. She didn't like the fact that we were getting a team here. That was part of it too. She didn't like us interviewing Becky, and she was anti-Toronto Tempo. Oh, yeah. 2-finger salute for Kelsey Plum. Yep. What's with these Americans being so xenophobic? Like, seriously, y'all, you know what? That tells me that y'all are kind of like nervous. That's the tell right there. People that act like this are usually nervous, and they're like scared. It's the same thing that's going on with MAGA right now and all the protests and the police. They're scared. They're little scared children inside. And in some ways, they're easy to see that. The people outside that are going to be out there as ordinary people, they're standing up for what's right. They have nothing to be afraid of because they're standing on the right side of history. And, the idiots that are in the uniforms on the other side, you have every reason to be worried because it's going to come for you later. Seriously. But, yeah, this energy about being so like Kelsey Plum and Jeff Teague. It's not a good look, Americans. And I know it's not all y'all. It's just some of y'all are like this. But you can't normalize this kind of stuff, Jeff Teague, you idiot, you dumbass. That's what I'm saying, man. Thumbs down. That's right. Cass saying unfollowed Chev a while ago, to be honest. That's sad, man. I don't want that to happen to Chev. I like Chev. But if he's going to be like not healthy for the Raptors, well, I don't watch him because I didn't want to rip off his takes. If him and I were saying the same things, it was organically because two great minds think alike. But I really didn't watch him because I didn't want to be influenced to say things on my show that he would say. In fact, I ignore a lot of talking heads because I want to organically come about my opinions in my own head on my own way. If I say the same thing as somebody else, well, Charles Barkley and I think the same way. That's all. Seriously, that's part of it, man. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying win, win, win. I like that. Breaking news. The Knicks just hired the Pink Panther. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Henry Mancini. Dun, dun. I heard they tried to hire Coach Carter. Nobody wants that job. I'm telling you, nobody wants that job. And the over scrutiny about who's going to take the job is a symbol of why nobody wants that job. Nobody wants that job. That's right. Nobody wants that job. Blackhawks here. Newsflash. SGA is a superstar. Agreed. Yes, he is. He carried last night. Fantastic game for him. I mean, some of the stats. I'll look at the stats here. I got the box score right here. SGA, 35 points on 50% shooting, 12 of 24. That's high volume, high efficiency shooting. Made all 10 of his free throws. In fact, the free throw line was crucial for this game last night. The Thunder shooting 90% at the line, only missing 4 free throws. Meanwhile, the Pacers not good at the line, missing 8 free throws. And that is a huge area where they screwed up. That was really momentum killing when both Toppin and Mathurin missed those fourth quarter free throws. That really hurt. I mean, Obi was 1 for 4 from free throw land. You know, he's such a double-edged sword for the Pacers. He does so many good things for him. Like he'll get those little hot streaks of threes all in a row. And he's been doing that like as a player for years now. He did it on the Knicks too. But then he has knuckleheadedness, like either some bad turnovers or missed free throws. He can be good and bad for your team. And he really kind of hurt them last night along with Benedict. You know, so I was sad about that. Yeah, I really am rooting for the Pacers at this point. I'll be happy if the Thunder win. I won't be a hater, but I want Indiana to win at this point. I think this will be very good for Siakam if he does. Miles Turner had a tough game in some ways. He missed all 6 of the threes he tried to shoot. He has such a weird, crazy high arc on his shot right now. It's crazy how high he shoots. I wish Nebhard would go off more on offense. I feel like that was something that was needed last night. They got Siakam got 20. He was the leading scorer. And then you have like Halliburton with only 18. That's not good enough for him either. Like he needs to wake up. It's great to hit an almost half court shot. It's great to do some fancy dribbling and hit shots here, but you need to show up throughout the whole game, Tyrese, and help carry. And 18 points is not enough for a guy like you, man. That's why I say he's like John Starks. He's going to show up big on huge nights, and some nights he's just not going to be enough. You know, top in 17, totally necessary, but just a lack of scoring overall throughout the Pacers lineup. Siakam only getting 20 and being the leading scorer, that's a really bad thing. And on the other side, yeah, fantastic stuff from SGA, Caruso, and Jalen Williams, really. Jalen Williams. The double-double from Chet was important too. But yeah, interesting game last night. Definitely an interesting game. G saying Chev is a big Pascal fan, and the Pascal haters were all up in his comments and chats before this run. And we happy when he was traded. I think he got caught up in that. I have faith he will come back. Yeah, hopefully he will. I mean, seriously, Chev, watch me a little bit and see, man, listen, I might be able to balance you a little bit because, you know, my heart is true and pure for the Raptors. And I know you can get like that too. It's just that in some ways, you know, Chev did come to the team in a weird way. He came to the team when he really thought that the Raptors looked like a resilient crew against the Celtics in the bubble. That's when Chev became a Raptors fan. He watched the Raptors play 7 games against the Celtics with the OG shot and all that. And he was like, wow, this team is so like badass. And I respect them for the fight they just put up against the Celtics. That is exactly when Chev became a Raptor fan, guys. It's not with our championship. It's not any time before that. We need to realize that is the time when Chev became a fan, was from the bubble. And he's a recent Raptors fan. He's not like Monique and I. He's not like a lot of y'all. I've been here since 95, since the very start, before the team was even named. And Monique has been here her whole life too. So it's like, Chev is not he's a recent Raptors fan. He's classically a Knicks fan. And we could also say that he could possibly be a long-term plan for Knicks Nation still. I mean, there's probably still a certain level of affinity and loyalty to the Knicks. And think about it this way, fair weather fans like Drake will go the way of wherever the success is. So while the Raptors were successful, it's easy for Chev to be tooting our horn and being all about us. But the Raptors have gone through some tough years while Chev's been a fan of them. Meanwhile, the Knicks have rose up and done what they did this year. So in some ways, it may be his natural inclination to go back to being more Knicks Nation, just because they're more on top of things in the NBA than the Raptors currently. That may not be the case next year. It may switch back right away next year. Trust me. But yeah, I think that's a part of it right there. What I just laid out for you guys about Chev specifically as a YouTube contributor and what he does. Remember when he became a fan. And remember also that sometimes these guys, he sold out the Knicks to come with us all of a sudden like that. Why wouldn't he sell us out and go back? So that's the whole thing you got to understand with this. Sometimes fans just want to follow where winning is happening because they're losers and they just want to feel like winning all the time. So they'll go to LeBron, wherever he is, or Golden State. I'm a Golden State fan. Okay, all right. You live in Toronto. We kicked your ass, motherfucker. All right, let's see. Stargate saying, rumor has it that the Knicks front office is considering Timothy Chalamet as the next Knicks head coach. This would be fun, man. An actor like Timothy, I would want to see him. You know what I think he would do? He would go and study young Pat Riley. And he tries to rip off some of young Pat Riley's style. Maybe he comes in slick back hair or something like that. And he just channels young Pat Riley or something like that. That'd be hilarious. Like, what if he approached the job without knowing anything about basketball, but he's just like, I'm going to play it like he's a character in a movie, and I'm going to study him, and I'm going to learn his mannerisms and the way he talks. And he shows up in a suit, and he's like young Pat Riley. And he comes in, he's like, yeah, hi, I'm the new Knicks coach. He doesn't know anything about what he's talking about basketball-wise, but he plays the part like an actor. And I think this would be hilarious if they did this. In some ways, it'd be like, okay, what's going on here? They had their first practice, and Mitchell Robinson and Jalen Brunson come up to him and say, hey, coach, what are we doing? What are we running? I don't know. You mean you actually want me to coach? I'm an actor. That'd be so funny, man. Young Pat Riley. Yeah, I'm dead on that, man. That's hilarious, man. Good stuff, Stargate. I'm going to give you a dunk for that one. I like riffing on goofy shit like this. Timothy Chalamet is the new young Pat Riley coach for the Knicks, guys. I want to put that out there. Somebody get on Knicks Reddit right now. Somebody get on Knicks Reddit right now and put that out there. 96 on the dunk charts for Stargate at this point. Yeah, and Spike Lee and Ben Stiller will be his assistants. Yeah, why not? Yeah, Michael J. Fox. Get all of them. Tracy Morgan. He's going to be the equipment manager. Tracy Morgan's the equipment manager. Oh, he's like, Cat, I didn't bring you those towels. Why would you say I brought you those towels? You did bring me these towels, Tracy. You're crazy. How dare you call me crazy? Yellow elephant. That would be so funny if Tracy Morgan was somehow one of the coaches on the Knicks all of a sudden, man. There's like, we can't find anyone. We need someone loyal. Let's start looking at the front row at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, Tracy, you're in. Ben, you come on in too. And they just get all the celebrities to be the coaching staff of the Knicks. I think that if we get to a point where the NBA is like the surreal life, that might be kind of fun. Seriously, this year I'm Adam Silver, that all teams will be coached by their celebrity fans this year. That's right. How will we do, man? Get Samuel L. Jackson up here coaching like Coach Carter. That's right. He shows out like Coach Carter. He's like, I'm the new coach of the Toronto Raptors. I'm Coach Carter. Come on in here, Scotty. I've heard a lot about you, sure, son. He's like Coach Carter comes in, man. All of a sudden, it's like Samuel L. Jackson like that. Who would be our assistant coaches? Nah, Drake's not coming. No, we don't let him in there. No. But this would be fun. What an NBA would that be, man? It's like we get to the point where it's so crazy and commoditized and with so many big corporate sponsors and stuff. The NBA brought to you by T-Mobile and Kia, and we have our celebrity coaches now. That's such a weird idea, honestly. I just did a Tracy Morgan impression. I love it. I love it. It's a good morning when I do a Tracy Morgan. I know that RJ and Tracy probably know each other. That'd be funny. Like, I wonder if like Tracy Morgan would call RJ Barrett on his 25th birthday and say, RJ, I miss you in New York, but I love you. You know, it's like, that'd be cool, man. That'd be cool, man. I love Tracy Morgan. He's one of the funniest people I've ever watched. 30 Rock is a genius character that he does on that channel. Oh, that show is so good, man. Anyway, I'm dead too right now, man. I just did Tracy Morgan. Oh my gosh. Wayne Strainer's here. Morning, Raptor Freaks. Entertaining game again last night. OKC fights back. However, it's obvious to me how the Pacers are the team deserving the chip. I'm proud of SGA's vocabulary. Face of the NBA. Yeah. I feel like this too. I feel like in some ways the Pacers have earned to be the champions. I feel like not only have the Pacers as a team earned it, I think their fans have earned to feel like champions in Indiana. Seriously, I'm so proud of the crowds at the Gainesbridge, arena. The last two games, they have come correct with the right kind of finals energy, and they really are a bonus and an advantage to the Pacers at home. It's too bad that the Pacers choked in front of them last night and gave them a sad ending because, man, those fans deserved the win last night. They really did. They were so good at cheering, standing, and being so loud. The defense chants are exactly that's how I want it, Raptors fans, at Scotiabank Arena in regular season games. Forget about the playoffs. Forget about any even in the preseason. If we had this notoriety as a fan nation that we come to every single Raptors game and we do defense from the jump ball to the end of the buzzer, I would love that so much. That is a dream I have, that we become so crazy and cheering for the Raptors that the defense chants are coming regardless of what's happening on the court score wise, whether it's preseason or regular season or playoffs. That's my dream. I want our crowd to sound like Indiana's crowd last night, every single night, 41 games a year. That's right. That's right. Right there, baby. Stargate saying Team Jamaica should reach out to Delano as well. I hope the Chapani twins also declare for Jamaica. It would be cool to see two sets of twins playing for a team. Well, you know who else could play for Jamaica if he didn't have a team? It's our guy, birthday boy, RJ Barrett. That's right. His family ties to Jamaica very directly also. You know, him and Scott do really have a lot in common. Jamaican family roots, Mount Verde, Toronto Raptors. They have a lot in common, RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes. And, RJ's on Team Canada, and he should be on Team Canada. I'm sorry, Jamaica. You can't get RJ. But he could play for Jamaica because he has the ties to there, too. That's right. Alan Tam, bam, son. That's right. Canada Hub, Canada Heart, Canada RJ. That's right. We love you, RJ. And happy birthday to RJ Barrett today, 25 years old today. We're celebrating RJ's birthday. You guys put in the love and the praise for our star J Barrett today on the Saturday Share the Love Club. We're totally here for you, RJ. We're 100% behind you, my guy. And we want you to retire a Raptor. I want you to. I do. I would love to have RJ play the rest of his career in Toronto somehow, some way. Masai, please make it happen, my guy. Make it happen. Fiercely saying today is a double vote day for WNBA All-Star. Just got an email. Perfect. Yeah, I love this. Fiercely, if you want to keep telling us and reminding us to vote for All-Star WNBA, please put it on blast as often as you're in the chat. That's right. Alan saying Taste of Italy today at College and Bathurst Street to Shaw. Very cool. Very, very cool. I love all the different festivals around the city of Toronto going on in different places. Thank you, Alan, for putting that on blast. OKC champions 2025. Okay, so this man's believing in the SGA MVP, finals MVP coming. That's right. Kareem saying, I swear, Kaz's fantasy team, his girls literally played every day last week. I'm getting killed. You know, that's interesting. I love that you guys are competing and really kind of going at it. Yeah, he's got you by almost 100 points. And yeah, it's sometimes that is part of it. Certain teams will play more games in certain weeks than others. And that is why, in some ways, you got to supplement your WNBA fantasy team with the waiver wire. And, you know, you get 6 transactions every single week. I've already used all 6 of mine in my matchup with James, but you guys should use every single transaction if you can. The way I always do it is on my roster, I'll have 2 flex positions where I don't care if they're anybody. And I'll have my regular people that I always keep and I never drop. But there's 2 players that are usually the lowest point total, and I cycle from the waiver wire, and I get more players in over the week because I actually use the 6 transactions. So I highly recommend that, Kareem, and other WNBA fantasy players, is cycle through the waiver wire with 2 of your roster positions, and you will get more production. And just be okay with having kind of like not the best players in your last 2 positions. So that's what I say there. Let's see. Kaz is saying I have a bunch of players from the same team. That's part of it. He has a team. Like, I'll bet you it's the Sparks, right? Because the Sparks have been playing like crazy. They had like a back-to-back this week. They never, ever do back-to-backs in the WNBA. Their games are almost always spread out. And, you know, when you have a team that has a back-to-back, you're getting a lot of extra points on there. Let me see if I'm right. I'm going to go look at Kaz's team and see if I'm right that he has a lot of Los Angeles Sparks on his team. Looks like he has a lot of Valkyries, actually, and Phoenix Mercury. So that's the 2 teams he's got. He's got a lot of Valkyries and a lot of Mercury. And that is where he's getting all the games from. He doesn't have any Sparks. So I was wrong. It's Phoenix and Golden State he's heavy on there. Yeah, cool. Seymour saying Chet got hurt 4 active plays in a row. Me and my homeboys was laughing so hard. Feed him some Alberta AAA grade beef. All right, I'm going to give Seymour a dog. He's hilarious. Like, seriously, I don't want to be a hater. And in some ways, it's bad, like karma, to put out there enjoying somebody getting hurt. But I have to be honest. In some ways, when I see Chet kind of writhing on the ground, I know I'm a hater for that. But it is what it is. I'm going to give Seymour a dunk. But I'm glad he was okay. And I do have to give him some credit for really staying in there and playing through it. You know, a lesser tough player would have sat out and missed the rest of the game. But Chet Holmgren stuck in there, and he was gritty, as Doris put. He was very gritty. And, yeah, he was a factor. His rebounding was very key. I feel like the Pacers screwed up in allowing – like, sometimes the team that's allowing too many offensive rebounds is the team that's losing in this series. And the Pacers did a really good job crashing the board in game 3. And in this game, it was the Thunder crashing the board and getting all the second chance shots with people like Hartenstein and Holmgren. Yeah. Get him some of that Alberta AAA grade beef. Yeah, the man, I mean, in some ways, I would, if I was getting kicked in the shins and rolling my ankles and stuff like that, I would be like, man, I need to bulk up. I need some meat on my shins. So if somebody kicks me in the shin again, I won't hurt so bad. I mean, that would be my like motivation right there. Ow, ooh, Peter Griffin. And then he's like, all of a sudden, he's like, man, I just got to get meaty shins. I don't know. Maybe Chet Holmgren needs to do a shin building exercise this summer and build up his shins. Maybe he's like not one of these people that forgets leg day. Maybe it all is leg day. And that's all it is. Like, what if he came back next year and he had like Popeye legs, like instead of Popeye arms? His whole upper body's the same, but then he's got like these crazy He-Man legs, like the figures. It's like, what happened to Chet? Oh, I got kicked in the shin and it hurt real bad, so I worked out my shins. That's weird, man. That's weird, man. Kaz is saying Americans act like we're all the way across the world when we're literally next door neighbors. Yeah, I don't get it, man. It's really like an ignorance. Like, they don't understand how similar we are. Thank God we're not totally similar. And in a lot of ways, Canadians are much more intelligent. It's just, it's sad, man, because listen, right now, there's 2 forces out there. There's the forces of right and justice, and then there's the forces of MAGA. And in some ways, you know, if you're sounding like MAGA people in your everyday life, like hating and like saying immigrants this and trans people that and Canadians this, you're in the wrong kind of energy, Jeff Teague. And that's what I say right there. You're in the wrong kind of energy right now for the times. If you want to get right, you need to start coming to the other side. If you're out there today protesting with a sign, Jeff Teague, I'll get some more respect for you. But I doubt you're out there. I bet you're a coward. And I'll bet you're just like what Kyrie was saying on social media this week. One of these grandstanders who thinks they're social justice warriors, but they actually, when things are going somewhere, they ain't actually there to support. And if it has anything to do with hurting their bottom line, they'll shut the fuck up real quick. So, yeah, Kyrie's real for that. He's real for that. Yeah. Let's see. Stargate saying, didn't Jeff Teague lose his starting job to Dennis Schroeder? He needs to shut up. Well, yeah, because Dennis is 10 times, maybe 100 times better player than him. And that totally makes sense. I mean, I don't denigrate Dennis. Dennis is a FIBA MVP. And, yeah, he's way better than Jeff Teague. Obviously, he would take that job from Jeff Teague. Sorry ass. Not trying. Very good player. Very average player. Not lucky he even made it to the league, honestly, is what Jeff Teague is. Yeah. Wayne saying the Raptors roster, I'm loving the more I see the other teams. OKC will be moving some of their players to bring in more quality help for SGA. Too much isolation play for this level of basketball. Go Pacers. That was what killed the Indiana Pacers last night. They got off their winning script, which is sharing the ball and moving that ball around and working to get a good shot. And they screwed up. They screwed up. They started getting too much into isolation, trying to beat one-on-one. And, well, that plays right in the hands of the very, very good Oklahoma City Thunder. As the game went on last night, we saw the Thunder's defense get better and better and better. And that's no good. In fact, it's like crazy. At the beginning of the game, the Pacers ran out like a train. They had 24 points at 6 minutes in. And I was like, wow, is this going to be one of these nights where it's a track meet and the Pacers are going to score like 140 points tonight? No, they slowed down more and more as the game went on. Testament to the Thunder and their defense and their rebounding. But also, the Pacers went away from what was working, honestly, as the game went further on. They went away from what was working. Seymour saying just a bunch of knuckleheads that have zero basketball IQ. Their game doesn't add up to winning basketball. Teague, Arenas, Kenyon Martin, McCall, no playoff experience. I don't want to put Kenyon in that category because he is a very intelligent guy. And honestly, Kenyon Martin was on some playoff teams that were very good, that did make some noise, unlike those other guys. Those other guys didn't even sniff the postseason, barely. If Jeff Teague was in the postseason, he was being carried by somebody. But Kenyon Martin was an important person at times on Denver that with Carmelo, and they were making a little bit of noise out there. And in some ways, Kenyon Martin was a winning kind of player. It's just that he didn't have the right pieces around him to actually get in the promised land. So I wouldn't put him in that same category with them. I have more respect for Kenyon, and especially since he said something recently about the state of the current game and what's going on. He makes sense. Ron Harper Sr., also a father of a current NBA player, saying the similar kind of things that Kenyon's saying. Kenyon's much more measured. In some ways, I have respect for him like I have respect for all the smoke guys like Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. And also those guys from Memphis that did their podcast with Mark Gasol recently, Zach Randolph and Tony Allen. So he kind of gets in that category with me. As respectable players may not have won anything, but they played the game mostly right. They did. Let's see. Seymour saying, well, Kenyon did go to the finals and choke. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Seymour saying, I love the Pacers before 95, before we had a team. I'm 100% a Raptors freak, so my allegiance to Pacer Nation died with Reggie, Rick, Smits, old Carlisle. It's interesting because, like, I caught myself last night very diehard Pacers. Like, I was going, go Pacers, go Pacers. And I was rooting for them like I would root for the Raptors. I think some of it was because of Siakam. But I think it's like I really am throwing my hat behind them at this point. I was ambivalent about who won. I was like, I don't care who wins. But I really do want Indiana to win at this point. I really, really do. And you know what? I do have affinity for the old Indiana teams. I thought that it was really cool to see so many Indiana alumni at the game last night, including former Raptor Haywood Workman, former referee and Raptor. He was in that picture with all of them standing there. Derek McKee, Detlef Schrempf, Dale Davis, Mark Jackson, Travis Best, and Jalen Rose, former Raptor also. But yeah, it's cool to see that group of old alumni and harken back to those old teams, though, like the ones that Seymour liked back in the day. Yeah, Chuck Person, Rick Smits, Antonio Davis. How about that? Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Trevor J saying Spike Lee for front office as president. I think that would be seriously. I'm going to be serious right now. I'm not joking. I think Spike Lee, you put him in there instead of Leon Rose, that might be an upgrade. Or at least, no, take out James Dolan and make him not the owner and let Spike Lee be the owner of the Knicks. That would fix a lot of things. All of a sudden you have an owner like Mark Cuban. So it's like Spike Lee may not be able to run the team exactly like Leon Rose, but he could be the owner of the team, and I'll bet you he'd be a better figurehead and know what's best for the Knicks way better than James Dolan. So, yeah, put Spike Lee as the president and the owner of the team. That's right. John McEnroe as assistant GM. Is he involved in this? Is he like a Knicks fan or something like that? Does he show up at Knicks games? I don't know. And somebody that's funny. I didn't realize he was there. John McEnroe. Wayne saying Chev is still salty with the Pascal trade. He figures Pascal is a Hall of Famer that you don't trade. That's logical to me. Please don't diss Aubrey. He was born and grew up down the road. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to diss Aubrey. The only reason why I say he's a fair weather fan is because he is. He goes and he He roots for Golden State behind our back. He said he was going to go down to Phoenix and hang out with Devin and Kevin last season or 2 seasons ago. I don't know. In some ways, that's fair. That's fair. I try to respect Drake, but he disrespects himself when he does certain things in certain ways in his own life. And I want to like Drake, but you know what? Don't be coming at my guy DeRozan. You do that, you put me on the other side from you. That's just how it is. Fiercely saying RJ. I like that. That's really good. Seymour is saying this. LeBron, Magic, Shaq fighting for ownership of the future franchise out of Las Vegas. Notable mention, the mob. Seymour's hilarious, man. All right, I'm gonna give you another dunk, man. That is funny, man. Seymour's funny today. Yeah, notable mention, the mob. I would say I've been to Las Vegas once in my life. I went there when I was in high school just for fun. A bunch of my friends and I got in the van and drove there on spring break. And one of the things I remember about Las Vegas is driving down the strip and actually seeing one of these police standoffs like you see on Cops in real life, with the cops out the windows on the sides of their cars with the guns out and the guy over there going like this in the middle of the strip right in front of everything. I've never really seen that kind of like Cops on Fox channel like action in real life until I went to Vegas. Now, that city was built by the mob for sure. And this is interesting. I never thought about this, that this may be a conflict. LeBron has very much made it very clear he wants to own the Las Vegas team, but Shaq has recently invested 224 million into a youth center in Las Vegas. Is this initial investment to show he wants to come to Vegas and have an infrastructure there as possibly somebody involved? Or could it be that O'Neal and James are going to be co-owners together? Could be that too. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe Shaq has to own the team originally while LeBron's still in the league. And then when LeBron retires, he joins the ownership group with Shaq. I don't know. Either way, it's interesting that these guys are both looking at that. I hadn't thought about O'Neal wanting a piece of the NBA franchise in the Vegas until just now, but it makes total sense what you're saying. I believe it's probably true. And I'll bet you the mob wants a piece too. Oh, yeah, I'll bet you they do. Neil's saying it was more about the assassination job people did about Pascal that sent him to a trade. In time, he will let it go. Yeah, I didn't like it either. I mean, I was trying to balance things. Look, as a Raptor freak, somebody who only wants what's best for the team, what's best for Masai, what's best for championships here in Toronto, I understood that letting go of Siakam was important to do possibly to get to the next chapter. But I wasn't totally okay with it. And we did talk a lot on this channel. It's all documented in the archive about going back and forth on Siakam here or not. And there were very strong people who were like against it, obviously, like Cool Cat and Wayne. They wanted him to stay here. But also at the same time, people wanted to allow him to go somewhere else. If he's going to be on our team and we're kind of not going anywhere, we don't want to ruin his prime. It was a weird situation. I feel like sometimes when people feel like something's going wrong, like Vince Carter in 2004, they will turn on people. And I think that there's a lot of animosity towards Siakam at that point because they saw the writing was on the wall and he was probably going to leave. And some people are just immature and they're like, well, if you're going to leave, I'm going to shit all over you before you leave. And I feel like that's what part of it was. It was unnecessary and it was wrong and it was disrespectful to a GOAT by all the people that were Siakam haters in the last 2 years. It was very disrespectful. That energy is not necessary. All it adds is to the noise and the stupidness. And you look bad yourself when you do it. It's not like your opinion matters and not like it changes what happens. You just make an ass of yourself. So in some ways, I would say to every Raptors fan out there, if you consider yourself a good, positive Raptors fan, let's show genuine respect for most of our players across our whole entire history and alumni. And even if there's changes in things like, well, we're going from one era, the Kyle Lowry era, to the Scotty Barnes era, we need to be able to go with growth and allow for changes and be respectful at all stages of whatever part of Raptors careers they're in. We may be saying goodbye to Chris Boucher very soon, and that's going to be sad. And in some ways, we want to give him the due respect and not act out and act like assholes just because he's leaving. Seriously, if Chris doesn't sign with us because he takes more money with somebody else later this summer, I don't want to hear Raptors fans dissing him and insulting him just because he decided to choose money over staying with us. So it's that kind of stuff. We can be bigger about this kind of stuff, Raptors Nation, and stop eating our own and acting so stupid, whether it's Fred VanVleet or Pascal Siakam. Y'all have acted like asses in the past, and you've only made yourself look bad with your dumbass comments and opinions on these players in negative ways after they leave. They're gross. They're going to go on that route, Mount Rushmore of great Raptors. As far as I'm concerned, there's 4 guys there: DeRozan, Lowry, Van Vliet, and Siakam. Those are the 4 greatest Raptors of all time. And you can disagree with me. You can start saying Vince. You can start saying Kawhi. You can start saying Chris Bosh. But I disagree with you. I said that those 4 guys were the loyal guys, the guys that represented us the best. And honestly, 3 out of 4 of them are champions. And that's why that Mount Rushmore is bona fide more than your Mount Rushmore with Kawhi and Vince and all that. Seriously. Seriously. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's see. Stargate saying, I'm a bit salty about Pascal's trade as well, but not to the point where I hate on Scotty the way he is. Talking about, oh, Scotty better show something this year or I want him gone. That's not helpful to anything, Chev. That's not helpful to anything. You got to put stipulations on a young man like Scott. In some ways, look, that's the kind of folly and foolish thinking that gets you to trade someone right before they bust out and do something crazy. Seriously. So, Chev, seriously, ride with the Raptors. You need to ride with us correctly. Otherwise, go on back to Knicks Nation. Seriously, is what I'll tell Chev right now. Go on back to Knicks Nation. They're more successful now. It's easier for you to go and root for them again. But if you want to stay with Raptors Nation, stop dissing our guys and doing this, because I may think that you're a heavy plant and that you've been on the long game all along. If this is the activity you're going to do this season with Scotty Barnes. Yeah, I'm with this. Stargate. I'm with this. Trevor saying yesterday, ESPN doubled back with Malika Andrews and gave the Raptors and respect. And the Raptors and Pascal, Raptors culture, they were showing a lot of clips with Raptors championship run with Pascal. Well, in some ways, they needed to do that. It was the 6th anniversary of our championship yesterday, and it's something to be celebrated. Honestly, the NBA has lacked celebrating the Raptors championship in general on their U.S. media side, and in some ways, well, it's never too late. And in some ways, give us our due for that amazing run. Honestly, in hindsight, it looks so much better as time goes on. It's aging like it is a badass championship. It's not a Disney Mickey Mouse championship like the Lakers the year after. This is a bona fide, really good team. And the people like Norman Powell, OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, and Pascal Siakam show you that that team was no joke in the years since. And there's more and more respect coming towards the Raptors championship year in 2019 as time goes on, and rightfully so. Y'all are just late to the boat. In some ways, you didn't give them the just due at that time. You're too busy trying to destroy us to make sure we weren't a continuous threat. And, well, now you're coming around and seeing it now. Well, better too late than not never. That's right. Better too late than not never. I appreciate that they came back around with a clip where they actually said the words Toronto and Raptors, Malika Andrews. Jeez. Stargate saying, what has Sheb done to warrant? What has Scotty done to warrant Sheb wanting him out of here this soon? It makes no sense, especially for someone with Sheb's basketball acumen. Impatience, immaturity. Maybe that all along he's not been good for us, and he's in some ways turning his real way now. And he's saying that, yeah, in some ways, maybe I don't want Scotty there. I don't know. It's weird. I have not listened to Sheb in years, so I can't tell you because I haven't listened to what he's exactly saying. I can only go by what y'all are telling me he's saying. To me, it's fishy. To me, it's like, bro, come on, read the room. You're supposed to be a educated old head basketball fan that understands these kind of things. But when you make these kind of ultimatums, like seriously, who the fuck are you to tell Scotty Barnes that he needs to do this, this, and this year? Scotty Barnes is going to do what he's going to do on his schedule. And honestly, I know he's going to be fine. Scotty told me a long time ago, after his rookie year, don't ever doubt me, Raptors freak. And I don't doubt him. And honestly, Chev, you doubting him? Well, you broke the first rule with Barnes. It's like, don't not trust Masai. You have to trust Masai. That's rule number 1. And you know what? With Scotty, don't ever doubt him. Is what I'll say that. I'm going to make that a rule soon. You don't doubt Scotty Barnes. He's coming, and he will come with a vengeance. And Chev, you're going to look so stupid in some of the clips that you're making these days, doubting him is what I'm saying right now. That's right. You're going to get it, man. You're going to get it right now. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying Chet has like 3 different leg accessories on one leg, 2 on the other, banged up at this point in the season is an understatement. And his body is not ready for this level. Chet, point god, home god. I'm allow this, man. I've been dumping on Chet, and honestly, I do have to give him credit. In the last 2 games, he's played way better. He's been important for them to do well. They didn't win the last game, but he was more of a force in certain ways with scoring and asserting himself. In this one, it was more about the rebounds. And even like being a shot blocking threat, they put him on certain people on the Pacers, and he was very effective in kind of trying to stop people. I'm going to allow the love that Seymour's showing towards Chet Holmgren, even though I'm a hater, because Chet has deserved it. He deserves it in some ways. I still don't think he's a legit big, but if he gets 15 rebounds often, maybe I'll start thinking that. But I still don't think he's a legit big. He can't play certain kinds of defense. Stargate saying, nah, you can't put Kmart in that category with those other idiots. He was good in Jersey and Denver. I respect Kenyon Martin. Yeah, and he's a person. He's an intelligent person, too. That's the other thing. You can listen to him talk, and this guy's got a brain. Those other guys don't. They don't. Gilbert, obviously, with his gun thing and all the dumb things he said since. And then, yeah, Jeff Teague really showing how stupid he is this week. So, yeah, we can't put Kenyon in that same category. I know that Kenyon's doing some podcasting and stuff like that, but I think he's a little bit more measured and intelligent in what he's saying. I mean, I've always respected what he said, and I respected him as a player too. When he used to play in the league, he was fierce, and he was fun to watch, man. Early years in New Jersey were fun with Kenyon Martin. They were fun. He was very raw, but he was fun to watch. He had a lot of passion and fierceness to him. Yeah. Stargate saying, yeah, the Zach Randolph, Tony Allen podcast seems to be the best of those others. I'm partial to all the smoke because in some ways, look, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes are not necessarily Raptors lovers, but they're not haters either. They show a genuine respect for the Toronto Raptors as a franchise. They're not like kissing our ass, and they really don't have a lot to do with us. Maybe with players that they played with us, but they don't have connections to us. But that's the thing. They don't go out of their way to denigrate us. And when I hear them talk about the Raptors and the Raptors championship, they always speak with some sort of level of respect. And it's the same thing with Zach Randolph and Tony Allen on their Get Out of the Mud podcast. The thing with them, though, is I haven't seen very many episodes of them. I've only watched that one Marc Gasol episode. But Tony Allen is an unsung kind of guy. I mean, he got his jersey retired by Memphis, and he did it the hard way. He's like a JYD kind of player that got his jersey retired there. So you got to respect that. And I've always liked Zebo. I think Zebo is a big, smiley, kind of happy, weird, misunderstood player. And I've always loved his fire and his compete on the court. So in some ways, it's like it is whether you're more likable towards me in the first place, but also it's whether you're intelligent and you're fair towards the Raptors. That's the other thing I'm gauging a lot of these people on. Yeah. Seymour saying, my bad. Kenyon has been removed for the discussion. Yeah, we want to make sure we get the record straight. And strike Kenyon Martin from the list of jabroni podcasters, please. Okay, let the record show that the sheriff has declared this. All right, bailiff, this is the sheriff. Sheriff, this is the bailiff. Yes, hello. Judge Wapner is over there. Yeah, that's right. All right, let's keep going. Stargate saying, but you can take up for Pascal without tearing down Scotty. Yeah. That's the whole thing. This is what weak people do. This is what bigots and racists do. They're horrible in themselves, their own life. I hate my life so much. I need somebody below me. I need to tear them down. This is that action. It's insecurity, honestly. It's not being confident in your own self. That's what that is. So, Chev, why aren't you more confident in yourself? You have a great YouTube following. People love you. Why do you have to be so unconfident? Oh, I got to tear down Scotty in favor of Pascal. Why are you doing that, man? That's insecurity talking when you act in that kind of action. Seriously. And that can apply to anything in your life. You need to feel like you need to be above people by tearing people down around you. Well, you're a weak ass person. That's what it is right there. You're a weak ass person. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah. It's crazy. Let's see. He's specifically targeting Scotty, saying he's out of here next season if he doesn't play how he wants him to play. Well, you're not the GM. And we haven't changed to celebrities running the teams. And Chev, you're not a big enough celebrity to be Masai Ujiri for the Raptors in this case. No, you're not. Actually, we're going to get somebody like, let's see, who would be a good one that we could come in, like a Canadian celebrity from Toronto that could be in the place of Masai. I don't know. I don't think you can replace Masai. Maybe we could get somebody to replace Bobby. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who would be a good overall celebrity to be like the person for us here. Mike Myers? I don't know. Mike Myers, Jim Carrey. Get somebody funny to do it. I don't know. Either way, Chev, you're not going to be doing it. And thank God you're not going to be doing it because you have very bad judgment. All right. Trevor wants me to do some of the segments on the show. And he's probably right. We're 2 minutes away or a minute away from 2 hours. And I haven't even done this Instagram stories. We got Why Not Lloyd, Scotty's best friend, He's happy about the Oklahoma City Thunder win last night, game by game. Now they got 2 more, just like their opponent. So it's a 3-game series. Who's going to win 2 out of the 3? We'll have to see. Vin Bagnani, assistant coach for the Raptors, is he's got something on here. This is a loving day. On June the 12th, 1967, the Supreme Court struck down all laws banning interracial marriage. Wow, that's quite the anniversary right now. A day late, but we love Loving Day in this house. Loving Day, it's only been 58 years since interracial marriage has been legal. Wild to even think about. So that's the crazy thing. Everybody acts like, on the MAGA side that, oh, racism's over. Stop making white people feel bad about this shit. And it's like, bro, this shit is not that like old. It's like very fresh. Some of this. The girl, one of the first women that was black that came into a white school, is still alive. Like, her name's Ruby, right? And she is still alive. She's in her 80s, and she was like the first young black child to go into an integrated school. So this shit is, they are trying to act like, oh, this is all old. You can't keep punishing us for this bullshit. No, man. In some ways, we haven't come and paid the correct price yet for systemic racism and holding down people. And honestly, the way things are going right now, they're going to hold down people even more again. And honestly, the balance is not going to get right. And honestly, this is sad. I love that Ben Bagnani is celebrating this day, but I worry that these idiots down in the White House might try and revoke these laws the way that they're going about their business in racist ways right now. I mean, that'd be crazy if all of a sudden the president declared interracial marriage was outlawed again. But you know what? As crazy as that sounds, I wouldn't put it past racist ass piece of shit MAGA to try and do that shit. Seriously, guys, that's who we're dealing with right now. They're throwbacks to the 50s and the Ku Klux Klan, honestly. Yeah. Let's see. We got Slim Duck on the Instagram. He's posting clips of the People's Court. And he's hilarious, man. He loves posting stuff like this. This one lady is calling out this other lady for being a drug dealer and losing her kids. And he's saying, damn, told all her business on the record, on TV, on the People's Court. She been holding. Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny. And also support and congratulations. He's saying nobody supports him, but then everybody's ready to congratulate him. Also, Chris, very proud of being an NBA champion the second time with the Raptors 6 years ago yesterday, putting on blast the 2019 Toronto Raptors NBA champions with a beautiful picture, which he is included in because he is one of those champions. Savannah Hamilton is talking to us about something very serious today, guys. Today is Donate Blood Day. And seriously, there's like a voucher you can get from Uber for free rides with Uber if you go down and you donate blood today. And Savannah wanted to highlight that there's differences in blood, not just blood type, but there's cultural differences in blood. And that in some ways, if you want to help people of your culture, you need to donate blood to the blood bank so that there is some available for people like you. That we are having different kind of blood types, and different kind of blood helps different kind of people. And you want a diversity of blood just like people, because all kinds of people may need blood at different times. So Savannah, very, very big advocate for donating blood. And she's imploring everybody on her Instagram to go do it today. And there's some incentive for you to do it. You get a voucher for Uber if you do it the right way. So there you go. Savannah Hamilton, what a great cause. I'm really proud of you. And she just got back. She's on jet lag. She looks crazy tired, but man, she looks good for being tired. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, she just got up and she's talking about how coming back from Greece just now, it put her back on her regular schedule. She's like up at the crack of dawn because of the jet lag, and she's going to bed at like 11 p.m. So it's like in some ways she likes it because she gets over in that late schedule. But now the jet lag is forcing her to have regular days, getting up at the crack of dawn. So there you go, Savannah. You're amazing. Honestly, Savannah Hamilton, you impress me all the time. And I'm so happy you're our sideline reporter. And I want you to expand your role with the Raptors more and more as time goes on. Honestly, I really do. You're a keeper. Orlando Robinson's got a couple of things going on. He was on a plane. It looks like he had the headphones on. I don't know where he's going. He was on a Delta flight. And then he's playing with the dog. So maybe he went home and he's back with Scruffy the dog. And yeah, they're playing. The dog wants to bite his hand. It's such fun, man. Orlando's recharging his battery. Is what's going on there. Lindsey Dunn's hanging around with Dirks Bentley and country stars down in Tennessee, doing stuff like that, interviewing country people, covering the Blue Jays. So Lindsey's busy. It's her summer is all about covering other stuff than the Raptors. and the Raptors 905. She'll come back for that. That's right. Teresa Resch celebrating the championship of the Raptors on June the 13th, 2019 on her Instagram. Of course, she was a part of that championship, and she got a ring also. So she comes into the Toronto Tempo, an NBA champion in the WNBA. That's right. Jay Nathan has got clips of his old alma mater, San Francisco Dons. The young players are getting a talking to by the coach. He's a very proud alumni of San Francisco. Jonathan, you're awesome, man. Toronto Tempo wants you to sign the pledge, the fan pledge, to help with inclusion. So make sure you do that. They're also putting on blast Natalie King as an artist. She made some Toronto Tempo gear. So yeah, check out Natalie's work on Natalie Laura King at Natalie Laura King. Now here's the Kyle Lowry stuff. He was doing the chat with Kevin Love and Channing Frye last night during Game 4. And yeah, he's celebrating the championship with the Raptors himself, of course, the GROAT, and the time he held up the Larry O'Brien, the only time. We love you, Kyle. It's always going to be that way. I love what Kyle put here on his Instagram. He said Kyle Lowry's rookie season, he averaged 5.6 points per game. And Kyle Lowry at 27 years old, he had 0 All-Stars and 0 finals appearances. But Kyle Lowry at 36, 6-time All-Star, NBA champion, 2 times to the NBA Finals, franchise legend. That's right. Take that moniker. You're a franchise legend for the Toronto Raptors. And it's not how you start. That's right, man. Think about this. Kyle wasn't 27 and he was a nobody in the NBA. He turned it on when he got to Toronto, and boom, look at the accolades since. You got to love the GROAT, Kyle Lowry, man. And yeah, he did let it slip that he's Canadian last night. Kelly Olynyk, a Canadian, is out there eating. Man, this guy, you got to stop it, Kelly. You're eating some dim sum. You're eating some sushi. It looks like he's got some pasta dish. Dude, you eat like a king or something. Like this dude's having 5-course meals, and these mix and matching cuisines. It's not like he's going in and getting 5 courses of a certain type. He's mixing and matching. Then are you eating all this food that you keep posting, Kelly? Because you better be. I don't want you wasting it. If you get doggy bags and you bring it out, maybe you give it to somebody on the street. That'd be great too. But yeah, man, that's a lot of food. I'm wondering if you're eating it. You are a big guy, so maybe you are eating it all. Because there's a lot of plates here, man. A lot of plates, Kelly. You put a lot of food on blast. That looks like some sort of waffle hamburger. It's like a waffles around a burger patty, and then there's cherries on fire on top of it. Like it's some sort of weird birthday cake. I don't know. I don't understand it totally. It is what it is. But Kelly is a fine dining experience. There, he's getting sushi too. This man is unstoppable with the food. Man, maybe you should be on that Man versus Food show, Kelly Olynyk. Like, I want to see you get on the Food Network and start doing food challenges. I mean, honestly, you and your wife may have a future in that in Canada on Food Network Canada. Maybe there needs to be the Kelly Olynyk cuisine show where you go around to restaurants and you talk about the food. Maybe you're going to be the Canadian Anthony Bourdain, my guy. Seriously, I'm all about this, Kelly, in your post basketball career, man, because you can put too much food on there, man. There should be a quota. The Raptors admin is putting Brandon Ingram on blast and showing, because he has no highlights. They can't really show his highlight reel like they did for Grady and RJ this week. They're just showing his fit reel. So Brandon Ingram's vibe reel is up right now. Grady Dick has been around Toronto this week, and I believe it's his girlfriend Carla's birthday this week, Carla Lessing. And they've been doing the fun couple stuff around Toronto. There's a really nice picture of Grady on Toronto Island with a picnic blanket out, with a picnic laid out for him and his girlfriend. So beautiful. It's too bad it's so smoky around Ontario because of forest fires. But man, Grady out there celebrating on the Lake Ontario with his girlfriend in the off season on her birthday. It's really picturesque. I'm sure she loves it. It's like cool to see the city across the water and that smiling young couple. It looks like they went to the top of the CN Tower and had dinner up there too. And the restaurant at the 360 restaurant. Looks like they were at Budweiser stage also, guys, at a concert, because that looks like the awning for Budweiser stage out there. So they may have hit up a summer series concert. And they did go to a play too. Is that Beetlejuice, that play? Or something like that? It looks like Beetlejuice. So Grady and Carla are living that Toronto fun life right now. I love to see it, man. Oh, and there's one more thing. Brett the Hitman Hart has a new commercial with Lily Singh. He's Brett the Gift Man Hart. I don't know what this is all about. But since Lily Singh is now Toronto Tempo's hype officer, I guess I got to cover this. But yeah, Bret Hart, I love you, man. You're a Canadian legend. That's who we need to be the president of the Raptors. Bret the Hitman Hart, new president of the Raptors if we're going celebrity ownership and coaches and stuff like that. Bret Hart, that's the one right there. There's your Instagram stories, guys. Yeah, good stuff, man. RJ, I love you, man. Happy birthday. Grady Dick, so good to see you around Toronto right now. RJ Maple Mamba is going to feast next season. I believe this too. You know, he's a very silent off-season guy. He doesn't post a lot on social media. I often wonder what RJ's doing. Well, I shouldn't, because I should know what he's doing. He's working hard right now. He's getting improvement. He's getting better and better. And he's working at OVO. He's working with Jim Sand. He's working with the Raptors in different places. He's probably working out with some of his teammates in different places too. Who knows? IQ may be coming by and hanging out with RJ in his personal gym, putting in some time together as teammates. Yeah, if I'm wondering what RJ's doing, because he's not very vocal on social media or appearing, I know what he's doing. I know in my heart what he's doing. He's getting better. That's what he's doing right now. That's right. Switch Nick Young for Kenyon. Fair or not? Yeah, that's fair. Nick Young was a weird player. In some ways, he screwed up his career in dumb ways. Yeah, yeah, you don't have to respect Nick Young. Stargate saying Chev is 50 years old and high school point guard. I get that he wants to get to at trolls, but do it in a way that doesn't pull down the team by shitting on their star player in that way, fun or not. Yeah, that don't make no sense to me, man. You're not. This is once again one of the basic tenements of being a Raptor freak, being like me, is that we are only for what's for the Raptors. And if you're coming at Scotty, that's not for the Raptors, Chev. That's not for the Raptors. We want to get that, the Larry O'Brien. And Scotty's our guy to get it. And you need to open your eyes and see that as a 50-year-old man who played point guard in the past. Seriously, I don't understand why you can't get this. Why can't you see the parallels between Scott Wayne and Irvin Johnson? I don't understand why you can't see this, Chev. Because honestly, I'm bewildered. You're smarter than this, NBA Chef. Come on now. You're smarter than this. Neil saying, I agree, Stargate, but he will have to come around on his own time. Well, we'll just have to see what happens. If he loses some more of the RFF because he's turning people off because he's going at Scotty too hard, so be it. That'll be his choice. It's his channel to run. Hopefully, in the long run, he will listen. Whatever. I bet you what will happen is Scotty's going to kick so much ass this year. Chev will be feeling like he needed to shut the fuck up. Seriously, I'll bet you that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I hope he does. That's right. That's right. I hope he does. All right, let's keep going. Monique's not here to cut me off. Ah! Seymour saying, I remember my team going 34-4 out of Scarborough and losing in OFCSA and Metros, but we won the borough. There you go. Before the days of YouTube. Man, that's awesome, man. I'll bet you that was quite an era. And like, yeah, you know, there's a lot of historic hoops in high school in Toronto. You know, there's a lot of history and there's a lot of stuff, man. Eastern Commerce, you know, Central Tech. There's so many big schools in Toronto where there's been interesting players that have come through for sure. And Seymour Pape was one of them. That's right. That's right. Blackhawk saying arguing about bathrooms is stupid. We all use the same bathroom at home. Do like Square One and have multiple family bathrooms. Problem solved. Wait, what are we talking about bathrooms for? I don't even remember that. Where's that comment from? For some reason, I think I was missing some comments yesterday. If YouTube is masking comments from me, like the ones from Smooth, it's not me not seeing them. I'm reading every single comment I see because Adriana told me after the stream yesterday there were some comments that you missed from Smooth that I saw, but I didn't see them on here. So maybe YouTube is kind of being screwy to me. If I don't read your comment, it's not because I didn't want to. It's because I wasn't given it by YouTube, I believe. So if there's some sort of thing about bathrooms here, I don't know what the comment is before, Neil. But yeah, problem solved. Listen, I don't want to even weigh in on the bathroom controversy. This is a red herring. And in some ways, this is a culture war piece that is utilized right now that's absolutely not a huge topic. And people need to chill out on it. It's a red herring. It's a dog whistle. And in some ways, we don't need to talk about bathrooms. Not on this channel, at least. Not on this one. Yeah. Stargate saying, now, don't get me wrong. I have been a huge fan of Chev. I just think this type of talk is beneath him. So it's a little disappointing. I agree with you. I'm disappointed in him for being this kind of thing because in some ways I looked at us as being in the same league, the Justice League of Raptors, and being like standing up for their honor and stuff. This is not that kind of action, Chev, is what we're saying. And in some ways, I've always looked at him as a cousin channel that kind of like is doing the same kind of work that I'm trying to do here. But we're departing, obviously, if he's going to go after Scott like this, man. Yeah, Neil's saying, tell him if you disagree, you disagree. Man, I would love to collaborate with Chev in a certain way. I don't know if he knows if I exist, but it doesn't matter if he does or not. I don't care. In some ways, it's like, Chev, listen, I would love you to come watch the Raptors Freak. and see what I'm saying. I haven't talked about you much on my channel. I used to talk about you a lot back a couple of years ago, but we haven't really talked about you a whole lot recently, but we are today. And the message I have for you is very clear. Lay off Scotty is what it is. Yeah. And I say this to a lot of people. See, that's the problem. Sheb says this. Other people say this around Raptors Nation, and other people start parroting it. Like we had people at Monique's birthday party saying Scotty needs to be better next year. He's not doing good enough. And I'm like, where are you getting this information? Like, are you listening to Michael Grange? Are you listening to NBA Chev? Is that why you think Scotty hasn't progressed or something like that? I'm like, that's totally an asinine opinion. Scotty has progressed. It's just not everything is going to be in points per game. And people need to realize that. That's what it is right there. Yeah. Yeah. Trevor's saying, Danny Green said both teams' players have shown up and proved themselves. Wait. All right. You're saying this completely wrong. I'm going to read this right because I know what he's saying. Danny Green has said in a podcast recently that all the players on both teams need to show up and prove themselves except for Pascal Siakam. And that's because he shares a championship ring with him from 2019. So that's basically what that statement was. You wrote that really weird, man. Stargate saying, especially if it's in reaction to trolls who are attempting to antagonize him in reference to Pascal. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's like Israel. Two wrongs don't make a right, Israel. And Stargate, just because they're being wrong don't mean you need to be wrong towards Scotty. That's not going to make it right. Sorry, that's not the way it works right there. That's right. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I love how Kyle embraces his franchise legend status. He's so proud and never selling out his Raptors tenure. He knows how to treat it correctly, and that's why he has it. That's why he has it. That's why there's a street named Kyle Lowry Way here in Toronto, downtown. That's right. Blackhawk saying, I had my opinion on VC and differed from Lex. It didn't cause friction, and eventually Lex came around to where I am with Vince for different reasons. It's okay to have different viewpoints. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just feel like he's unfairly going at Scott, and there's a bad ripple effect beyond it. And that's the problem. It's toxic. It's toxic. It's unnecessary noise that is not helpful. And that's why I'm disappointed in Sheb, much like Stargate and other people. So, yeah, I came around on Vince because Vince finally came correct with us finally. And he actually said he was sorry finally. And that meant all the world to me. So, yeah, Vince, I love you again. And you are a valued member of the Raptors alumni. You did it, man. We managed to pull it off. It was Masai and Bobby setting up you for the jersey retirement, the Hall of Fame speech, you going in as a Raptor, you saying you're sorry for not coming to Dunkiversary, and being available to do our games and color. This all added up to me being like, you know what, Vince is back with us, man. I'm cool with him. And the fact that he honors and respects his history with the Raptors finally, it means the world to me because in some ways we're regaining part of our legacy that was lost because he went to New Jersey and became such a turncoat and such a hated player in Toronto that we healed that last year. And I appreciate MLSE Masai Ujiri for allowing this to happen. Seriously, I really, really do. Healing things with Vince has been so therapeutic for me in a lot of weird ways. In some ways, I wish Chris would see this and maybe figure his shit out. Bosh. Seriously, I wish he would. Stargate saying, Blackhawk, I would if I could catch him a verbal medium. I won't do it with the comment section or chat room. I might do it in there. I don't care if they all come at me, but I might do it that way. Maybe I'll go over there. I never go to his channel. I thought he was mostly off of YouTube because they were screwing with him with his monetization, that he had kind of shunned YouTube. I haven't seen him on YouTube in my suggestions ever recently. That's for sure. But they may be changing the algorithms in certain ways. I know that I'm not getting as much traffic coming to me, partly because the Raptors haven't done well, but also I think YouTube shook it up, and they're kind of mad at me for not monetizing my channel with ads. So they're not promoting me at all right now. They used to promote me to a degree, but they're not doing it now. And it's because I'm not playing the game with them to monetize my channel for them to make money off my channel and you guys. So I feel like they're kind of putting me in a black hole and not putting me out there. So if you find me and you find my channel, thank you, because YouTube's not trying to put me on the algorithm at this point. So it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let's keep going. Blackhawks saying Pascal got a better opportunity. Yes, I loved him being on our team, but he has a chance to win a chip, and I'm good with that. Yeah, in some ways, we weren't in the right condition for his next period of his career. This was the best for him. And, we can be haters and be like, oh, but it's not the Raptors. Why are we trying to help the Pacers? Well, in some ways, we were trying to help Siakam. It's not that we were trying to help the Pacers. It's just the Pacers are the lucky ones he chose. That's what it is right there. So, yeah, we want to help Siakam because we love Siakam. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's right. Nothing wrong with that. Stargate saying people tend to hide behind a chat and comment section. I prefer to debate person to person verbally real time. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But I mean, I'm a pretty quick typer. So as quick as I am with my tongue and talking on this channel, I can type really fast and run circles around people on comment sections too and make them look bad there. So I don't mind going in there, but I don't do this very often anymore. I used to all the time before I did this channel. But now that I have this forum and this channel and this outlet, I don't need to go into Facebook and Twitter and Reddit and different places and go be a keyboard warrior with the comment section, because in some ways I'm doing that stuff here. But sometimes for old time's sake, I will get in there and start verbally jousting with some people in comment sections. Yeah, sometimes I will. Yeah, Fiercely saying, Lex, would you say Jim Sand is the longest tenured assistant coach for the Raptors? And yes, sadly, Shev's recent takes turned me off. I appreciate his stand for Pascal, but not to Scotty's detriment. It's just not necessary. Jim Sand is technically, yes, the longest standing Raptor coach because he's been with the team for like 10 years now currently, but there's also the period of time where he was the assistant coach for the Raptors in the early 2000s. So he was an assistant coach for us around Vince, guys. He was a coach on our team when Vince was playing for us. So he has a really long history with us. And yeah, he's the longest tenured assistant for sure. For sure. Yeah, there's my cutoff from Fiercey. Thank you. And there's Scotty on blast. I love it. Blackhawk saying American politics makes bathroom a culture war, but it's just economics. Build family bathrooms. Only one party can use it at a time. Problem solved. I mean, it's a dumb thing. There's all kinds of solutions for this issue. And honestly, it's just part of the trans argument. It's just like an anti-trans dog whistle. And in some ways, it's like it's really stupid. It's really, really dumb. It's really, really dumb. It gets people scared because they're worried about it. It really appeals to people that have scared of homosexual people coming in and trying to get with them. You know, straight men that are kind of on the down low, maybe have some gay tendencies on the down low that are trying to hide. They get really scared. It's like, oh, I don't want any gay guy coming in my bathroom and trying to see me or something. You know, it's a lot of that energy is what this is about with the bathrooms. You know, listen, trans people and gay people are so persecuted. They're not perverts out trying to get your children. Seriously. In some ways, it's like, the think and belief that the people who are actually trying to get your children are the Catholic priests. And you know, there's a lot of like really bad, like normal white suburban people that are perverts that are doing this shit. You know, it's more likely to be a white male that's straight that is abusing children or people than you know, a trans person or a gay person even. It's just that they try and throw all this perverse stuff on them because they don't like them and they think they're different. And it's easy to sell to the general public that they're perverts and deviants that would want to do this. But there's no trans person that's trying to come and diddle your kids and stuff like that. That's ridiculous. Seriously. Seriously. No, it's a Catholic priest. It's a Boy Scout leader. It's those kind of people. It's a hockey coach that's doing that shit to your kids. And that's documented by legal cases. So, hello, that's the reality of it. All right, let's keep going with the chat. Yeah, Wayne saying, I saw Summer League's ads for next month. So draft next 10 days, and then we get some rookies playing. Thank you, basketball. Yeah, the finals will end up, and we'll go right in the draft. And then we'll get the buzz, the afterglow of getting our draft picks, analyzing them, and then going to Summer League almost immediately. And that'll be fantastic. I love this part of the year. In some ways, it's hard to do this channel every day, but there is some really good stuff I get to cover in depth that I'm still going. Meanwhile, a lot of other people have not been doing stuff. Like, I don't know if Hello and Welcome are doing anything this summer. I don't think they are, hardly. Maybe they do that interview with Bobby Webster today down at Holt Renfrew. That's right. Just to remind you guys, there's an interview down at Bloor and Young at Holt Renfrew. Hello and Welcome podcast has Bobby Webster on live in person. You can go there and watch the live taping of this podcast this afternoon at 2 p.m., I believe. So, yeah, you can go down there and do that. But honestly, a lot of the Raptors content makers are taking the summer off right now. And they definitely ain't doing a day every day thing like me right now. That's for sure. All right, let's do the classic card real quick right now. And we'll continue with the last couple things on the tabs and we'll get out of here. Oh, there's a good one. All right, guys, here's the classic card of the day. I'll try and hold it away from you guys. So if you can tell who that is from way back, you can go ahead and get the classic card right now. Full name answer. You probably can tell who this is from far away. If it's your instinct to say who it is, it probably is who you think it is. Hey, Brian's here. What's up, Freak Nation? What's up, King? Dap to you, my guy. Classic card of the day. Who can tell me who this card is from the distance? If you can tell it from a distance, I'll give you the 100 points instead of 50. Yeah, there we go. You called him Damn Lillard. You put Dame in real quick. I'll give it to you, Slug Easy. That's right. It's not LaMarcus Aldridge. It's not Norman Powell. It is Damian Lillard when he was on Portland. This is a Dame Lillard ticket card. So, yeah, Slug Easy will get it, even though you called him Damn Lillard. It's Damn Lillard. It's that damn Lillard. All right, let me see. Where's my classic card scoreboard? Let's see. It's Damian Lillard, and it is Slug Easy today. That's right. There you go. Slug, 100 points added to his totals. And yeah, we're going to be going into the end of the Raptor Freak trivia season very, very soon. Slug, you're a close second. Not really close, but it's going to be smooth, man. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, damn Lillard. It's that damn Lillard. All right, let me check my tabs. Y'all, you know why we're here today. We're celebrating the birthday of the great Rowan Barrett Jr., our Star J, our hometown hero, our number 9, our Maple Mamba, our kid from the Mississauga who's come to the 6, from the 9 to the 6. That's right. That's our dude. We love you, RJ, with your expanding peanut butter meme. Yeah. We love RJ on this channel. And if you're a real Raptors fan, you should love him too. Stop hating RJ. Stop putting him in trade machines. Stop disrespecting Rowan Barrett Jr. He puts on the jersey for our city and our country. And I don't understand how any true patriotic Canadian cannot love RJ Barrett. Seriously. And everybody who's out there making noise about trading this man, you need to STFU, because we love RJ in Toronto and we want him to stay a Raptor for as long as possible. It will be up to Bobby and Masai what happens with him, or possibly RJ in free agency. But I'm just saying, y'all don't make the rules, and you ain't going to decide whether RJ is getting traded or not. So shut the fuck up with your damn stupid ass trade ideas for this and this. It's too easy to sell him out and send him somewhere else for Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Fuck you if you put him in a trade idea this summer for something like that. Fuck you if you're putting RJ in any trades going out of Toronto. He is a bona fide man for the city, and that is priceless. And I tell you right now, that kind of bonus for going all out for us is something I have full trust in, that RJ Barrett is always going full 100%, 110%, 200% for the Toronto Raptors when he plays. Saga, stand up. That's right. That's right. Number 9 RJs for number 9. I love that. I love that, Fierce. I'm going to give you a dunk for the RJ love. Y'all, real quick, if you want to get something in for RJ right now before I wrap up the stream, go ahead and say something nice for him. Look at that. Fierce's at 69 on the dunk chart with that one right there. Boom goes the dynamite. All right, let me see. Let me go back through my tabs. Oh, real quick, on the straight goods for Canadian goods, today we're doing a classic, a very iconic Canadian company called Pizza Pizza. Y'all, that's right. Pizza Pizza is a Canadian company that is founded here in Toronto. The headquarters are here in Toronto. There's many, many Pizza Pizzas all over the place, all over Canada, but not in the United States. And Pizza Pizza is a former employer of this guy. I worked for Pizza Pizza for a few years, running a Pizza Pizza stand at Ontario Place. And I know their company and their product very, very well. But yeah, if you want to support Canadian pizza, Pizza Pizza is fine. It is a big corporate company. It is a little weird. Pizza Pizza Chris used to drive the Pizza Pizza monster truck around in the parking lot at the Mississauga Pizza warehouse because he had access to it. Yeah, my friend Chris, I got the job for him at Pizza Pizza. Well, it turned around and was one of the most epic things that I ever did. See, good things that you do for people can turn around and be good things for you. I helped Chris get the job with Pizza Pizza as their warehouse manager, corporate warehouse manager. He got to drive the Pizza Pizza dragster, the Pizza Pizza monster truck, the Pizza Pizza semi truck, all kinds of Pizza Pizza vehicles that they had for their company. Well, he got the corporate tickets for the Raptors games too from the front office. Quite often, Chris would come into the office at the warehouse and they would say, "Hey, Chris, nobody wants to go to the game tonight. You want the tickets for the Raptors game?" "Sure." And he'd take them and he'd call me and I'd get to go on free Pizza tickets to Raptors games. And that's all because I helped Chris get the job in the first place. That was part of the one hand washes the other. So go out and do good for other people. Help people get jobs. Who knows? You may get free Raptors tickets and get to go to Raptors games on Pizza's dime because of that. Yeah, so there you go. There's the straight goods on Canadian goods. Help out Canada. Buy Canadian pizza. Fuck you, Pizza Hut. Fuck you, Little Caesars. Fuck you, Papa John's. Fuck you, Domino's. Go get Pizza. Go get Pizza Delight. Go get Pizza Nova. Go get 2-for-1 pizza. That's what I'm saying right here. There you go. There's Pizza on blast today. as a former pizza guy right here. That's right. Yeah, I know my pizza. That's right. I've had a love-hate relationship with pizza to a degree. But yeah, mostly pizza's all right. That's right. Wayne's saying, okay, predictions. 3 games left, one piece for each team. Let the best team of the day win game 7. RJ Barrett is one of our future GOAT. Yeah, I want to see him get an all-star, and I want to see him continue to excel as a Raptor in the Raptors uniform. Yeah, I think the Pacers will win 2 out of the last 3 games in this finals, but who knows? It's really up in the air. The home court advantage is back for the Thunder. We'll just have to see how it goes. If the Pacers can make the adjustments and execute better at the end of the game, not like they did last night, they'll be an okay. But man, it may be OKC's C to get to championship for him. Mama's Pizza? Mama's Pizza. I don't know Mama's Pizza. Is that Canadian or not? I don't know Mama's Pizza. That's right. Dallas Wings waived Kalia Charles. Okay. I think I had her on my team. Pizzaville. Pizzaville is Canadian also. Yeah, you can do Pizzaville. Pizzaville is fine. All right, let's see. Let's do Raptors Reddit reactions real quick. The Groat is a Canadian at heart. Here's the exchange right here. Wait, Canada is a legitimate country. Like, he's standing up for us there. And we got 4 players in the finals playing. Yeah, whoever's been trying to say Canada's not a legitimate country, like Elon Musk, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. Yes, I'm not full citizen, but I'm kind of like one, is what Kyle said. Double big lineup back for the Thunder. Yeah, Dort. Ooh, Canada. He's rooting for Dort, man. That's crazy, man. Let's see. Somebody on Raptors Reddit is appreciating that the Pacers Nation gets to appreciate the greatness of Spicy P. Yeah, and this is a Pacer fan that wrote this. Pascal Siakam is one of the most complete number 2, number 1B options that you could have in the NBA, and I'm so glad KP traded for him mid-2024 season. Siakam, he's going on about what he averages and stuff like that and all the great things about him. You know what? You're right, Pacers fans. You should be very proud to have Siakam. And you know what? Thank you for sharing him with us still, because honestly, he's like that. Yeah, Siakam had 4 steals in the first quarter last night, and he was very crafty. It was very, very cool. Yeah, let's see. Blake Griffin has let it been slip that Kyle Lowry could be joining the Amazon broadcasting crew in the future. That Kyle Lowry may go into broadcasting and be working for Amazon as one of the broadcasters. That's interesting. I don't know why. I didn't hear that. Blake Griffin said that, though, himself. Let's see. They're kind of pushing Noah Senge on Raptors Reddit right now to be drafted. There's some weird Scotty Barnes fan art. That's not good fan art. I'm going to say that right now. Whoever did that Scotty Barnes fan art, please don't do that anymore. Stop, please. All right, there's your Raptors Reddit reactions. That's pretty much what I had to say on there. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, that's good stuff. I love to hear that. Happy birthday once again to RJ, Freddie Gillespie, Rick Brunson, and Brandon Carlson. Those are the birthdays for today. All right, I guess I'll get out of here. We're right at 2.5 hours. Let's get done. Yeah. All right, thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, join the channel. You get access to our Discord server and our Facebook group run by the superfan Monique Lawrence. And I appreciate everybody for joining me today for a Saturday Share Love Club for our beloved RJ Barrett. RJ, man, listen, don't listen to noise. I know you're good at not listening to noise because you played in New York. And, well, understand, the real ones are real ones for you still, real ones like us. And we understand the specialness of your connection to the city of Toronto and the Raptors and why that should be very much respected and treated sacredly. And, well, we know that Masai and Bobby are like us more than these idiot fans that are really stupid. And I'll continue to say this. Raptors fans, get right with RJ. Get right with Scotty. Don't be like Chev. Don't be like former RJ fans from Knicks Nation that are dumping on him too. So come on. Let's be wholesome and healthy for our team and rooting for them with a passion that is non-toxic, that does not have to denigrate certain players on the team to prop up other players. We can do this correctly in a healthy way and be one of the best fan nations in the NBA because we can be very supportive in helping our team. The Leafs and the Knicks have horrible, toxic fan nations that get in the way of their success. And I am not about having Raptors Nation be a fan nation like those two that gets in the way of our own success. So we need to keep things right and clear on how to get back there is what I'm saying right now. So I appreciate everybody right now. Happy birthday, RJ. You're a star. You're a star, J Barrett. We love you, RJ. And I hope you see this, man. I know you probably won't. But if you do, know the Raptor Freaks, the Raptor Freak family has got your back forever, my guy. And go Team Canada. Go Toronto Raptors. Be proud, Canadians, of your RJ Barrett.